There we go. All right, beautiful. Hi, how's it going, guys? If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm actually playing here with Donald, who's going to really guide us through this journey here in Terminal Conflict, and we are currently playing against XTRG and GFK. Both Donald and GFK work for the actual company, Strategy Mill, so it should be interesting to see how this goes. Where I'm here.
GFK being my boss, that's...
It's your boss, indeed. You can always blame it on me, which is the best part.
Okay. And it's still the Americans' turn. So what are they doing? Oh, trial by media?
Hello,
I think they overspent something. Can't remember what trial by media was for. But they might have overspent one of their interests.
Let's take a look here at the message log to see if we can determine that.
Trial by media sounds like they spent all their elite. Yeah, that's their mismanagement chain for elites. So they might lose, but it really depends on what they choose.
Okay, so they've had David Ben-Gurion rise to power here in the Middle East. Not exactly something I wanted to happen, but I mean, at least he's only got 2 influence, so
he's pretty weak.
Yeah, he'll be dead pretty soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hey, Icon Rostov, how you doing? And Nestor Makhno. See, we've already got historical figures appearing here at the YouTube stream. Are we the Soviets or the reactionary dogs? Oh, of course we are not reactionary dogs.
Obviously, that is why everything is orange.
Yes. Exactly. Is there? By the way, I was mentioning to ask that. Is there a way to change the color scheme without going into like a text document, like as opposed to orange making it red?
Options.
Ooh, let's do that. So let's take a look at options.
I think it's been a while. Like I haven't personally used it. So apologize in advance if it's not in the option menu, but I believe it was in options.
I think it is.
I remember the dev diary on it.
Oh yeah, dude, I see it. Oh, that's awesome. Oh yes, this is much better. Color profile: Green Mile and Red October. Green Mile. Oh, that's great. Okay. Very good. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's much better. That's much better. It might give me a seizure, but it's still cool.
It is now Christmas.
Yes, indeed. Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, wow. That's harsh. Like, I'm so used to
the same thing happened to me when I popped that. I was like, whoa! I got a little kick there. But I think this is more appropriate for glorious Soviet Union.
No, it's like it was one of the I had to change, and we did it, but the ability to change through it. But I'm actually kind of a fan of the old palette because it's just much easier on the eyes. Because that's another thing when you choose color palettes in games. Like sometimes what thematically sounds right, Soviet red, of course, right? It doesn't, naturally work because it's very low energy. It doesn't stick out as much.
It is. I mean, I think you've got a point there, and I mean, without a doubt, this is definitely harsher on the old goggles. It's a bit more extreme, I guess. Okay, here we go.
But since the option is there, like, that's great.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think you guys should add more color schemes, even. Like,
I think they're customizable, so you can always make your own. I think.
Oh, that would be epic.
Don't quote me.
Even something as simple as like black and white. I mean, All right, let's see. The German political machine. Okay, we can do a number of different things here. We can found loyal regional administrators. I'm just taking a look at our. So we're lacking finance, I believe. Is really.
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah.
We still have about 6 more turns that we're rolling in finance. But we can get more government.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
We did pay 2 finance, 3 military. Now we can use 1 military to get 2 government. I
think founding loyal regional administrators is the way to go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's pop.
Because we're already pretty close to max on military, and I would save our elites for other. Well, we can use them to gain military, but right now we don't need to. In the meantime, we can put that sub in Yugoslavia.
Oh, let's.
And I like our 1 sub hanging out here in the Black Sea.
All right, let's pop that sub right there. So that's going to be 2 points. There we go. Duel of Fate. An uneasy
cost
peace has settled in the Soviet-occupied territories of Germany.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
that was 2.
Don't do that.
Too late.
If it was that expensive, like, don't do that.
It's okay. The Red Army tasked with bringing relief did not come as powerful to... Okay, yeah, this is... Well, at least Yugoslavia is ours, without a doubt, but, yeah.
Oh, it looks like we got a lot of... Oh! Why did we gain all this influence in Eastern Europe? Event? Event worked in our favor.
Definitely.
But event, I think.
Now, I wonder, should we jump into State Affairs and try to pop Tito or something like this? Or...
What we want to do now is we want to just... Well, we can always launch Tito in the next phase.
Okay.
But what we want to do now is swap Western Europe with army commands. Well, maybe put down like a fighter command too. Like pull a fighter command from Eastern Europe.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. So we go to Eastern Europe over here. The fighter command would be this guy. So let's go ahead and...
Command reserve. Because he's doing nothing
like
sitting in Yakutia. What we want him to do is protect our glorious tanks that we're going to be putting in Yugoslavia.
How do we pull this guy off? I thought this was...
You should be able to click on him. Like, click on the icon, and there should be a reserve. It's like a CR. Click on the fighter. Like, click on him in that bar. So, yeah. There you go. Yeah, you're about to click on it.
Let's see, so just click this?
No, click on the fighter. Like,
oh, okay.
In the bottom bar.
Yeah, here we go. I'm not getting anything.
It should. We've cleared out your, like... Oh, you keep clicking the exit. You keep clicking the leave. Click on that. Click on the fighter icon.
No, I'm clicking on it now, but it's just going like brr, 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 like sort of not allowing me.
It should open up more options.
That's weird. Maybe because it's their turn, we can only do it on.
Oh crap!
Yeah,
I thought it was our turn.
It is. Yeah, I was getting confused. I was like, did they change something? Because it used to be a button there.
I was like, click on it.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? And it's still their turn. So
still their turn. But I mean, it's something to do when we go back. Hold on, let me just check. Yeah, somebody did complain about the color scheme. Yeah, classical colors. We will do that. We'll jump back to the classical colors. I think we're burning out people's retinas right now. Let's.
Yeah, I'm looking up, trying to. I'm used to seeing like the flash of the orange for the Soviets, and I'm seeing this green for the USA, and not my blue hard code mode. Yeah, there you go, monochrome.
Yeah. I like that too. I like the black and white. That was kind of cool, but we'll stick to just the original here.
Well, why is Tito on the cover? Why not?
Exactly, why not? Because he's great.
We used it in the dev diary not too far back, where Tito was the focus. I believe it was 37. Dev diary 37. Dev diary 37.
I don't know how controversial this would be, but I'd love to see a Pol Pot image.
I think Pol Pot's in the game.
No, I know he's in the game, but I mean, like a thumbnail, like a similar one like you had to Tito, but in this case with Pol Pot, maybe with like the killing fields in the background.
That might be a bit far.
No, that part you can keep out. You know, just Phnom Penh burning in the background and him smiling or something like this. No, obviously you'd have to tame the picture, but I think it'd be an interesting historical figure to put there. But yeah, I'm guessing that certain historical figures are probably off limits, like just purely out of controversy. What's that?
It's like one of your commenters is like, we need a Pol Pot Let's Play. It's
Pol Pot Let's Play.
You just play in the South Asia. That's it. That's
well,
all.
It's funny that he mentioned that because I was talking about doing a Pol Pot Let's Play in Tropico, and my idea was just to have a 100% agricultural economy and nothing else. So like, essentially just like bunkhouses and a tremendous amount of farms. That would be it.
Yeah, I need to switch over from beta to the full release on that game.
Oh, me too. Oh god, I forgot about that.
You too.
Oh man. Because I was playing this morning and I was like, wait a minute, the game has been released already. Why are there only 4 missions? And then like just now you mentioned, and I'm like, oh yeah, because I have a beta copy. Shit.
Yeah, because we have that one installed. Yeah,
exactly. That makes sense. I was like, wow, so I guess I need to beat these to unlock those. No. Just get rid of the beta.
Yeah, I haven't played for a month or so. Like, the last time I played, like, the Modern Age was still on, lockdown. It's like, yeah, I'll wait until it's all out. I love the Modern Age, too.
Yeah.
I like the beginning of the game and I like the end of the game. Like, the middle part's like, you know, that's nice.
In a second, I'll tell you about it.
No more you.
He died.
Operation, I can't pronounce this thing.
This is Osiaviakim.
Yes, that.
Yes, that. Osiaviakim.
So, since we don't really care about Eastern Germany, let's, like, burn an influence and gain the military.
Yeah, I agree. And that's +2, so yeah, let's go for that. And it's not like we really need influence in this zone anyway. I mean, we're pretty much
we do,
control.
but at the same time, we have some influence to burn. Like, you know, Comic-Con worked in our favor. Who knew?
Now, turn 9. What do we want to do here?
Army commands in Yugoslavia. Keep putting them in there.
Let's do it.
Just keep shoving them in.
Just keep throwing tanks in Yugoslavia. All right.
Well, we got the fighter command up there now, so. Oh no, don't yet. That's what we wanted to do.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
We wanted to get the fighter command. Actually, no.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're absolutely right. Let's.
But before you put things here, we should recon first. I don't think there's a problem because it's not a war zone and it's at 3. So I think you can put it in safely. And we don't need the fighter command because we have the surface fleet there.
Oh, I see. Okay, I just pulled it out, but well, we can use it later. Yeah, we can use it later.
Even for a rainy day.
Exactly.
So we can just put down the tanks.
Yes. Now the Cold War's turning a little bit hot.
Meanwhile, it's probably like all this time I should have just reconned in advance. I don't know.
Yes, possible.
But this is going to involve us, waiting for the next turn, like the next timeline. Hopefully, we don't have to disarm in Europe again. But at least this time we'll have some tanks. This is the stage of the Cold War where Comrade Stalin reigns.
Yep, true.
Yep.
True. When did he die? Was it 54, I believe, or perhaps earlier? When did Stalin die? Let's see. And then good old Malenkov took over and stuck around for a few months.
53, thank you.
Ah, okay. I was close. I was close.
You're far closer than I. I was like, yeah, you sound about right, but
yeah.
I was just following along. It's like, yeah.
There's just so much, like, I love talking about, like, all sorts of Soviet intrigue. Oh, here we go. Okay, so let's see. The founding of the GDR. So
more
this
special
is
sound effects. Oh,
glorious German Democratic Republic.
A lot of influence in Egypt. What are they doing in Egypt?
We're gonna take a look.
We are all...
This is tough. I mean, I guess we go for... We certainly don't want to... Well, I was gonna say we're doing okay on both.
Get elite. Elite is, I'd go for elite.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because we're fine in terms of people support.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do it.
Like, elites is pretty solid.
In terms of all of our different levels of, finance, government, etc., I mean, we're doing very well. We're not really low on anything.
We're not exactly high on finance either, but at least we have something to work with in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, this gives us options. So more tanks.
Really? You want to drop some more?
Yeah, we're gonna drop a max of 5 here.
Fair enough. All right. Boom.
I'll do it.
Yugoslav Albanian zone. U.S. cargo aircraft intercepted and shot down by Yugoslavian aircraft in friendly airspace. Plane carrying nothing of significance. Oh. Now, should we be doing anything else in terms of nuclear?
No, we are waiting for the next timeline because it's locked behind things, and we are slowly generating a stockpile. But all we can do is wait. As you see, you can take a look at what comes in the future. So when you go to state of affairs. You can actually see what's coming up when they unlock. Same with the space race, by the way.
Oh, interesting. So let's
you can see
there.
how much they cost.
Okay.
And you can see how much. I believe you can actually take a look at how much it would add to your productivity.
Interesting. I actually didn't know you could do that. So like, even if something is currently grayed out, you can at least sort of review it for the future. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. And we still don't want to pop Tito.
Nah. Right. The thing is like every unit that Tito replaces, he gains power.
Oh, I see. So this is why you're pushing for this consistent creation of tanks, because once we pop Tito down, he's going to be like a ridiculous.
And we don't lose those troops, by the way. They just go back to our garrison, like our command reserves. It does cost us time, but what we're trying to do is create a really powerful Tito to create havoc.
Oh, nice.
In Western Europe.
Beautiful. Oh, so it's funny. So we were just talking about the intrigue, and David there just mentioned the death of Stalin, the movie. I liked the film, but there was so much in that film that was so horrifically dishonest. Like, for instance, Malenkov was painted as like a complete idiot. But the truth is that Malenkov and Beria were actually very good friends. Like, Malenkov was maybe the only person that Beria wasn't going to have killed, and may have been also partially the reason that Beria eventually himself was killed, because Malenkov did turn on him. But the way like the movie portrays Malenkov is just a bumbling idiot, you know, and it's just like, no, come on.
I have yet to see the movie, but I want to. It's on that list of things that you want to do.
Yeah, it's worth it. I mean, can I give you a spoiler? I mean, it's a spoiler anyway, since it's history. But one of my favorite lines in the movie is they carry out a quick trial of Beria and shoot him in the head. And then behind them, Molotov goes, "That's right, go back to Georgia, dead boy." I don't know why, but that line was just so great, because Beria was such a horrific individual. I'm gonna have to reorder my pizza. I'm so annoyed right now. This is what capitalism gets you. Cold pizza that never shows up. That's right.
I actually had that last night.
I don't mind cold pizza.
Not from Pizza Hut.
Yeah, not from Pizza.
Like fast food chain. Domino's. We're clearly sponsored, right?
Oh, definitely. Simon Donini says, great movie. Hello, Simone. Yeah, it's a good movie. I just don't think it's historically really that accurate, especially that scene where Stalin, or excuse me, not Stalin, Beria has all of Stalin's maids and stuff killed. I mean, it's just nonsense.
Well, the thing is, it's based off a graphic novel, huh?
Is it? I didn't know that. I see. Now I want to read the graphic novel.
I think there's another channel that I watch, History Buffs, and I think it was like something talked about a graphic novel. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's something else. And also one I haven't seen the movie itself. I only know what I've seen from History Buffs, and that was a pretty good sell. So I want to see if just because of that. Why is Greece not in the Civil War? It's because we disarmed Europe. It's no longer a war zone. It was chaos, but then we're like, no more of that.
By the way, do we want to go ahead and drop another tank, Donald?
Oh yeah, Davide was like, may I suggest some warfare? And I was like, but Davide, warfare is nice, but this is still the first timeline.
Yeah, exactly.
We have fun, and we need Tito's grand entrance. This is the plan for when Tito comes to the scene. He's like, "Hi, everyone," and then Europe will never be the same. So I drop another tank.
Yeah, I think you're right. So we'll do it.
Thanks.
You're probably wondering though, like, what the hell are they doing? Like, what in the world are they doing?
It's planning for the future. I'm just hoping we don't get a disarm in Western Europe again.
Oh, that would be really scary.
It can happen. It can happen.
Don't say it. Don't jinx us.
Since we wasted some FP with that submarine placement, the USA will get that extra turn.
So actually, Nestor has a question there, is why is Greece not in civil war?
Well, I said that. We disarmed Western Europe. So that it got rid of all the war zones. It actually states that, when you choose disarm, all active war zones in that theater become, shut down.
Oh, interesting.
Because you're disarming the theater.
Right.
So if we had like disarmed South Asia, our war zone in Vietnam would stop. It would become peaceful.
Interesting.
Full of tranquility. Oh, they are still going through that chain.
Yep, diplomatic ultimatum. Yeah, I just saw that. I think that's what David doesn't realize. It's like, we've actually been playing for quite a while, but we are still in 46 to 1950. Like, we've got a long time to go.
We're in the first time, like the first timeline. And there, I think 10.
Yeah, exactly.
We get up to like the 90s if we don't blow up the world.
Exactly. If we don't blow up the world.
If.
Big if. Let's see. Oh, it's still turn 16 for them.
I humbly suggest a planet invasion somewhere. I mean, that's like a good idea, but Tito, and I know I'm going on about Tito, but he's really good.
Yeah.
And not using him is like a crime. And there are just a lot of things that you can do more than just war in this game, and I always found that fascinating. Like, war can spice things up, and definitely in East Asia or Middle East, I've had them get really spicy. Oh, there we go. So they've decided to do war. I mean, I guess that's fine. We should probably bring some jets. Like, they're not going to be able to swamp us here, and they just use their last turn to do this. It kind of sucks. But we do have the surface fleet there, so that'll protect us against a bombing run if they decide to do that.
Oh, we actually just to carry fleet in Yugoslav Albanian zone failed air superiority by the Soviet surface fleet, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Nice. So we stopped that. We stopped that air mission.
Now we don't have air cover though.
Oh, I see.
So I don't know how many turns they have left. They might have one or two more. They have a bomber. Okay, that's not bad.
So now we're again at the main screen here. Let's see.
So the USA is gonna be ahead in points because she just has more access to all the theaters. But like, war is kind of a waste. Like, already. What I don't like is the fact that they got 2 influence in Egypt.
Yeah,
that part bothers me immensely.
I don't like that at all.
They got the Suez.
And that means they can bring in troops because they've got the... yeah, exactly.
No, they don't have the logistics to get to Egypt. They just own the Suez. That blocks our way into Africa through that zone.
Oh, boy.
So what are our options now? Please not Western. Please not Western.
Well, let's take a look. So let's take a look here. I mean, I've just got it on focus management so you can get a nice idea. I mean, what if we just decide? Well, I mean, once again, the Middle East now that they've taken
Western Europe again.
Yeah. Oh man, it's disarmament.
I feel like it's the exact same thing. And we can't give him Western Europe. So we might have to give up our Tito plan?
Yeah, I think we have to. I don't think we have a choice.
At the same time, this also locks down the fact that they haven't destroyed any units in Eastern Europe and Western Europe yet, and our units are currently exposed. But we will need to put some troops back in Yugoslavia. I know, like, people like war, but at the same time, like, this... There are more options that you should be doing.
It's just simply not all about war. It's, I mean, obviously, you know, victory doesn't come through.
You've got about 40 more years of gameplay and timelines.
Yep.
And you're gonna need to do a bit more than war. I would aim for Western Europe though.
I think you're right. And in this case, we need finance, so
I know we only get like 2 focus points, and it's not a whole lot. We need to do it.
Let's do it. And we'll also get some finance. Let's go for it. Boom.
And it'll lock down the zone. And there's not really enough time for them to do much, and we'll be able to put our units back. We will need to put that fighter command back, though. Actually,
yeah.
We won't be able to. Now it's their turn. Because we need to keep them out of Western Europe. It's a lot of points that we can't let them have.
Nestor is asking if we're playing against XTRG right now. Yes, we are. XTRG and also the head of Strategy Mill, GFK.
But yeah, no, it's also a tough one. Like the Soviet Union starts at a disadvantage, definitely because a lot of event chains. Yeah, so we need to play the long game.
Yeah.
The USA just is militarily superior. It is. They have air superiority, and if we don't play our cards right, they will destroy.
Yeah, I don't exactly think it's a great idea to get into an armed conflict with the U.S. It's just, it's not going to go well.
We can, but we have to choose our battles.
Yeah.
And fighting in West, like, on our only zone in Western Europe is not a good thing. Really depends what they want to do. Like, we want to disarm Europe, and we want to ramp it back down. We're going to get rid of at least a fighter command and tank command back to their garrison. And we can't put our fleet back down. It's too expensive. But we will be able to get army commands down. But in the meantime, like I said, declining local tension. When you read the disarm, what it talks about, declining local tensions conclude war zones. So if there are war zones in the region, like in Yugoslavia, it's going to become peaceful.
Right.
So they didn't choose Europe. They chose Central America because the 26th July movement was fired.
Interesting.
Disarmament.
All right, so we do have some influence to place here in Western Europe. I think we want to be very careful with this.
Quick question: if we go to state affairs, what does the U.S. choose? Oh, focus management. Focus management. That's what I meant.
Okay, yeah. Let's take a look at focus management. Eastern Europe.
They choose a war zone in Eastern Europe. Or are they just trying to end the game?
Maybe. Yeah, it looks like they've gone for Eastern Europe.
Okay, that's a war zone. When did they choose? Like, click on it?
It looks like the focus is elites.
They chose elites. Okay, we need to... Oh, it's probably because they went through the elite mismanagement chain, so they're really hurting on elites.
Oh, nice. All right, so that gives us a little bit of breathing room, in other words.
It does. We only have, like, 2 turns, though. That said, what we want to do... Nukes. Space race. Do it.
Let's do it. All right. Which one first? Does it matter or?
Doesn't matter. You have
time to fire off Sputnik. Oh wait a minute. We have to deploy our influence in Western Europe first.
Yeah.
So let's. Should we just boost Yugoslavia to 5?
No. I'd advise against a lot of influence outside of your home theater. So get it 1 more to 4, because if they decide they want to end the game, they can just declare war on Yugoslavia.
I see.
And it max out the doomsday clock.
Oh, right. Okay. So we've thrown 1 into Yugoslavia, maybe another point into... I mean, we could throw 1 into Germany, bring them down to 3. We could even throw 1 in Ireland and give us +1 influence in Ireland.
Actually, that'd be a good idea if we decide to use the Molotov plan in Western Europe. If we ever get to that point, that would give us influence there.
Okay, so let's go for the for Ireland.
Finland.
All right, let's go for Finland. Let's do it. And Finland's at 1, so that'll be
they can't,
appropriate.
Place units literally right next door.
Yeah. That's perfect.
Because we can't reach Ireland. Ireland is. Let's see a potato.
And now we will pop off Sputnik.
We have launched our first object into space.
Glorious. And for nuclear tech, we'll go ahead and get the intercontinental bombers.
Yes, not the fighter one.
Okay, so we'll lay off on fighters.
I don't think it produces bombs the same way intercontinental does it?
Functioning as a fighter and a bomber. Units can now deliver nuclear strikes. All right, so we won't. So we'll wait on that. We'll
I usually ignore it because it doesn't actually give you Like, you see the other nuclear techs, they actually add to your nuclear stockpile production. This one does not. And we don't have a lot of fighter commands anyway that we'll be placing strategically. We need them for war zones. That just gives the capabilities for your fighter commands to launch nukes if we decide to, blow up the world.
Right, exactly. I like the way you phrased that. All right, let's see. So at this point, so we've done ours. We've popped Sputnik off. We've gotten some nuclear technology. I'm guessing now we head back into Western Europe. Do we want to drop any of these forces back once again, or?
I think we could actually. How many turns does the USA gain? Like, how much focus points do they gain for Eastern Europe? It's probably quite a bit since it's an arms race.
Let's take a look here.
So it's focus management. You can always see what's coming up. So maybe we just put down a bare minimum here and. Oh no, it doesn't tell me. Oh, actually, hit the. You know where it says PTT up top /PNT for at the column?
Yeah, I see that.
Click on it.
All right.
And it should tell us points. I'm not going crazy, or at least theater focus. It's one of the two. Okay, it's theater focus. If you click on that, it'll tell us the amount of FP.
5.
5. So we'll have 5 turns. So if we put down like one tank in Yugoslavia for now, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a decent idea.
We can fire off Tito pretty strongly, and but still do reasonably well.
Yeah. So in other words, before firing off Tito, we want to place that first tank, and then we'll fire off Tito.
Or we can ignore Europe, or at least put down a tank. And we can start moving our plans onto the Aleutians. So if we just... Actually, let's ignore Western Europe for now. So let's go to Eastern Europe.
All right. We've got the beautiful Aleutians right here. Actually, they're not that beautiful, but decent islands.
So what we're going to be doing in our next... we're going to put down a surface fleet in where we have our other surface fleet, and then our next turn we're going to load it up with a tank as well. Because we already have a sub here.
So, in other words, you want to drop a destroyer right there in the Aleutian
No,
Island?
we can't. That's American influence, but we can in the region next door.
So that would be the Far East Russia zone.
Mm-hmm.
We already have so much here. All right.
I kind of actually, but before you do that, actually no, we can keep the surface fleet there. But let's put a surface fleet down in our red area. Our eastern coast there, and then another sub.
So we're gonna drop another surface fleet into Far Eastern Russia. Let's do this. Mm-hmm. Boom. It's gonna be opponent's turn.
We're gonna get ready for the upcoming war.
Oh, nice. Things are gonna get bloody.
We're gonna land on the Aleutians. It's no longer at 5 influence, so we're preparing for that one. We also have a lot of elites, so we can get all the information that we need. And it sounds like Gellert and XTRG want to create a stockpile of elites, so if we buy on them, we actually might, see what they're actually, like, further down the line. We'll spy on these capitalist dogs.
Do our best.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. But they want to make this one... It sounds like they're really just ramping up and just want to do all the war.
I think so. Yeah, I think that seems to be the goal. Especially with that focus on
XTRG he is also a very aggressive player. So.
Yep.
So yeah, they've picked up Charles de Gaulle. So they've decided to spend their turn picking up French leader. And they did save up quite a lot of government, so that makes a lot of sense. No, we're playing as the USSR war pig. Yugoslavia is just one of the tools that we can use. It's unfortunate that the disarm came up for Western Europe.
It really is. I think you know what it was. Like, in other words, we bet way too much on it. We should have popped Tito
sometimes
slightly
it
earlier.
Works out in our favor, but we just didn't have enough time.
Exactly. But it was a little bit of a risk.
It was. It was a gamble. And sometimes it pays off, but it pretty much was the exact same thing that we had the first time around. Where only North America and Eastern Europe were war zones. The amount of points that you got were different, but you can hit it okay.
All right, let's do it.
That's just notifying you that the Americans are one step behind, as always.
And there we go. They've popped Charles de Gaulle here in France. So they are definitely going for total domination here in Western Europe. Yeah. Now, should we try to kill him with the KGB or no? Let's stay away.
We could use some soap, yeah.
You want to try? Let's do.
Let's see what our odds are for assassination.
All right, so only 15%. Yeah, that's
actually really good.
Really?
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, fingers crossed.
We couldn't make him stronger.
Oh no, it's down to 10% now, and he's got 6 influence.
Yeah, we made him stronger. Try
one more time. One more time. All right. No, you want to do it once more? What have we got to lose at this point?
The next time frame, we have plenty of elites.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. Oh, we got him to 7. All right, no more.
Well, we are only making him stronger. We should stop.
No more. No more. Can you imagine the newspaper articles like, I'm a communist trying to kill de Gaulle twice. He survives both times. He's beloved at this point. Oh, God.
We're only making him stronger. Like, the fact that you failed so often is impressive in its own right.
It is, yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, well.
That's rough. Okay,
it was like, it was a gamble.
It was.
We failed really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we really have. It was, I mean, he's got 2 bullets in him, but they're sort of like souvenirs at this point.
I'm pretty sure they just went in his couch and now they're his souvenirs.
Yes.
Out of curiosity, what does he have? We're going to use some recon. What does he have in the Aleutians?
Okay. So actually, I have almost not used any recon in this game whatsoever. So I'm curious to see how that works. So we go into KGB, recon, and 80% chance of discovering something.
Wow, it sounds like you failed. What the heck? How do you fail 80%? Come on, game.
I know. We're gonna do it again.
And you only lose elites if you fail.
Okay, there we go. So we have recon. I don't see anything. Yeah, it could be.
So they've left it empty. They might ramp it up next turn, which is really odd.
It is strange. I don't know what they're going for, frankly.
If you can, move subs into that area. It would only trigger war if it actually goes into combat, but we want to give cover to our surface fleet off the Aleutians. Because we eventually are going to want to ship in tanks.
All right, so beautiful. So we're going to take the sub G14 and move it
in our one zone.
That
we placed earlier.
Yeah, in our far eastern zone, and we're going to move that sub into the Aleutians.
Yeah, it shouldn't trigger anything because there's no combat to trigger. All right. Can't do that yet.
Yeah, can't.
Next turn. So put another sub in that area then. In the meantime, from our garrison.
All right, fair enough. There we go.
That way, both areas have cover from the nefarious deeds of the carrier fleet in the Pacific.
Let's see if we can put an end to them.
Oh, that is our hope. What are the Americans? They're probably going to use de Gaulle's newfound influence. Wow. Really the ball on that one.
We really did screw up with de Gaulle. that is I think our champion screw up so far. But hey, you know, I think since the beginning we've taken quite a few risks, which
well, yeah, you kind of have to as the Soviet Union.
Yes.
At this stage, because you need to essentially take the initiative away from the USA.
Right.
And they still have that. So what did they do last turn? Did they use de Gaulle?
Let's take a look here at the messages.
Because I'm hearing you're...
So his power increased, etc.
What we should do in the meantime, and thankfully Gellert hasn't taken advantage of this, is take her units out of East Asia that are in war zone.
Okay.
De Gaulle... So in East Asia, we have troops like in Shenyang, up in Manchuria, that are in war zones that are really easy picking. So I would just remove them. Remove that one, just the one. Okay, because if you lose units in a war zone, you lose points. The enemy gains points, and you permanently lose that unit. So if you take that army command on your turn and put it into your command reserve, that'll be pretty good for you.
I think we just have to wait for them to finish their turn because we're not getting the.
I realized that as I was advising, it's like since all the Americans started going, I was like,
I was clicking furiously though. Hold on one second.
Yeah, no, I believe you. It's just like I'm looking up as the Americans, and they've chosen elites, so I wonder if they're gonna stockpile them. But in the meantime, our goal is to wrest control of the Aleutian Islands from the USA.
They're taking their time on this one.
They were probably now considering what to do about the Aleutian.
Either that or they're just like having a massive celebration over de Gaulle reaching 7.
God, that infuriates me to a certain degree.
Me too. It really does. Oh, nice. We got quite a few people here on the YouTubes. How old am I? Hey, Araman, how you doing, bud?
The YouTubes.
The YouTubes. It's even better. I mean, come on now. We're Soviets. We don't know anything about this capitalist nonsense.
I don't know.
We keep our internet properly watched, guarded. Hey, Jizakawe.
I am watching YouTube, so...
Oh, so Jizakawe, the guy we're talking to right now is Donald from... we're playing against XTRG. So Donald from Strategy Mill here is pretty much our advisor, and XTRG has his advisor on his side.
Nah, I do not have the silky smooth voice of XTRG, and I apologize.
The lack of an English accent gives it away.
Yeah, we just have this clear-cut Canadian accent, so sorry about that.
There's the Abut. He got. I think
you pushed.
Yeah, exactly. I think you pushed it a little bit on that Abut. Let's see. All right, so no, it's still their turn. Okay.
That Donald, the Donald. Yeah. No, not the president of the USA. Another Donald. Arguably a better Donald.
Yeah, I mean, if it was the president of the USA, I mean, well, in this case, we're playing as the Soviets, but if we were playing as the Americans, we just give up and give it to the Russians right away, you know? And it'd just be the end of the game, turn 1. Let us win one election.
Oh, the long telegram.
Okay, I think it is.
Gotta get that doomsday up. Get your dukes up.
No, it's still their turn. That's weird. I guess they're just taking their time, I think.
Sweet time. Have a cup of tea. Have a cup of coffee.
Exactly.
You know, maybe some scones.
Let's see, online movement. Sorry, I'm making a freaking food purchase here during the stream. Man's gotta eat. All right, let's.
Man needs his pizza.
Exactly, man. Oh, I'm starving.
How else shall we fuel the Soviet cause?
Delicious pizza is the true key to Soviet domination.
Indeed.
Which is funny because, from I would say like 55 to maybe 75, Italy actually did have a very, very, very strong communist party. I'm not sure. I don't believe they ever came to power in an electoral sense, but the actual support there was pretty big. There were even car bombs and all this stuff that went on during that period between the communists and the capital, specifically in Italy. It was a big left-wing movement there.
I mean, you're not wrong, Warpig. URSS can't into pizza. But does not mean we cannot succumb. Yeah, launching nukes for us is like a bad idea. Like, we do not have the same nuclear capabilities as the USA.
Yeah, we don't. I'll actually show that to him here on the screen so he gets an idea of what we're dealing with, why we can't do that. So,
but the USA starts with nuclear technology.
Oh, by the way, sorry, Donald. It's now our turn. Can we? We're gonna pull that unit out of Shenyang.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it. Bring that back to our command reserve.
Yeah,
Okay.
just in case they have any funny ideas of bombing that area, now we don't have to worry about losing it. That's 4 points for the USA, and we're behind on points, so let's not do that.
Yeah.
I would say that we are going to max out our elites, and we are going to fire that bad boy.
You want to fire harmonization of ideas?
Oh, no, when we get max elites.
Okay.
Not yet. Soon.
We'll let them sort of ruminate on their own ideas.
Because then we could get 9% influence in East Asia. 9 elite, 90%. Sounds like a plan.
I like it. So what should we do now? Let's see.
The royal we.
The royal we.
We are going to, I think, move troops into the Aleutians.
Let's do it. So let's go ahead. And at this point, you wanted to move the
we
submarine.
have that one fleet in the one zone that have troops on it still. It has AC over it.
Oh, I see that. Okay, interesting. So that means that there's essentially an infantry unit on board this?
Yeah, there's an army command, yep.
Oh, nice. All right, so we're going to send that into the Aleutian zone.
Yep.
Let's go. Steam ahead. Well, past the
like,
steam
if
age.
they must, like, do an arms race in Eastern Europe, like, sorry, we're gonna bring out the guns. But before we land it, we are going to check if there is actually any troops, because he's only got one carrier command in like the Pacific south of us, so he can only like neutralize one of our fleets. And worst comes to worst, we move a sub over, because Europe is in conflict of which side is better, Soviet or capitalist, and they are still undecided, like you do in Europe.
Yes. We're going for a bunch of influence boosting here in South America.
It's not so strange yet. Like in this timeline, like the Marshall Plan hasn't fired at all, and same with like the communist version of that. I believe it's the Molotov Plan.
Yeah.
So the fact that the U.S. Yeah, they haven't played it yet. They also don't have the doomsday to do it. I'm pretty sure they definitely have the resources. We've been firing out finance, and there's a lot of government just spent around for it. Yeah. I usually use the Marshall Plan in the lead up before NATO, because it brings a lot of things up to control, and then NATO will bring it up to domination. Kind of locks down Western Europe.
I see that, yeah.
It is my favorite combo as the American player. But we are going to land in the Aleutians. And at least bring it down to 2. And since we'll have troops there, they can't really do anything, because they can't land in West Berlin. They don't have the route to it. So West Berlin will essentially be strangled, because it won't get any support from the Aleutians.
Oh, interesting.
But first, we got before we land, and after the Americans take their turn, like they've decided to let us have this sort of free reign, so we're going to take it. But we need to make sure there are no troops there first. We're going to do some recon. Hopefully not fail.
Yeah, not like last time. I was going to say, so somebody mentioned the nukes before. I'll go ahead and show you guys the nuclear situation. This is why me and Donald can't go for nuclear war right now. The U.S. would win without it, hands down pretty much.
It's only an estimate. Like, we can check for sure if we use, like, espionage and check what the amount they exactly have, but I would strongly guess, and I bet on this one, actually. They would have about 3, maybe 4 nukes. We have 1.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work out so well.
The USA would have to, like, fall behind on military spending to really allow you to gain that lead. What are they doing in America? They are taking a long time.
They really
I'm also
are.
surprised they haven't fired off NORAD yet.
Yeah, it is strange. There's a few things that well, I mean, I guess the Marshall Plan not passing is not too crazy, but...
To light a fire under them, we could launch the one that gives us influence based on the amount of unlit doomsday. See where the...
Oh, which one was that again? Hold on again. Which one was that?
Peace, Northern Neighbors, I think? Not the one that is like how many...
No, I meant to say, what region was that? Because I remember...
Oh, North America.
Okay, that's yeah. I saw that before. Let's take a look at that again. It's purging the... No, it's not purging the apparatchiks. It's ideological sympathizers. Gain 1 influence in the North American area for each people interest your opponent lacks from the map.
No, the other one.
So this is the Northern Neighbors?
The one... Yeah, Northern Neighbors, just to light a fire on them, because we don't know how many people they have, and we haven't chosen people as an interest to get, so we can't actually, like, spy how many people interest they have yet. Because when you do an influence, right, when you use espionage, you can see how many the other person has through that when that is in focus. So since elites is in focus, we could always do espionage to see how many elites the USA has, as well as how many force pool points in their nuclear arsenal.
Interesting. Okay.
If it was government, we could spy for government. So
in other words, like what you're saying is, since the focus here is elites, if we do like a spying mission, we're going to get information specifically about elites. If it was on military, we'd get specifically on military, etc., etc.
You got it.
This makes sense. And so, in other words, we don't want to pop that until we spy.
Until we know it's
right.
Because we want the most bang for our buck. We only get to use this once, so it's best that we use it when we get the most out of it. So, usually the USA, like, I don't think Gellert or XTRG have done too many out-of-theater actions, so I don't think they've burned through the people pool that they started with. But since they're not really doing a whole lot in Eastern Europe, that might be changing. But we'll find out. They decided to, make it an arms race. So, we're going to heat it up a little. But what are they planning? Mostly we want to see if we can shake things up, get to worry about not Western Europe. Which is one of the reasons why I advised against maxing its influence in Yugoslavia, because they can always max out the doomsday right away and fire off like all the things they need, like the Marshall Plan and NATO, because they require a certain amount of doomsday clock. That's up. So if we can keep it low, it restricts their ability to fire those really powerful policies.
See, this is why I like having you here, Donald, because like your understanding of the game is massive. Like whenever I do the game, see, I certainly focus occasionally on my own theater or the enemy's main theater, but I'm always more focused on those empty theaters and trying to like generate as much influence as I can within them. But I guess like in the grand scheme of things, that's kind of not really as effective as popping like all of the ideas we have, etc. Because like the scope of the ideas we pop, like, you know, don't just affect one country, but they affect like an entire region.
They'll affect an entire theater, and it's tough because it's hard to gain the initiative. Like, I know we go first because we have less points, but it's hard to actually gain the initiative in the game because we start so contained. We are really contained. That's another reason why nuclear war is not in our favor. It's because the USA and its influence is so spread out, actually, and
just to give people an idea of that, you can see here the USA pretty much.
You look at the world.
Yeah, it's
Soviet
everywhere.
Influence is Eastern Europe. You got Yugoslavia and Western. You got some in South Asia, but nothing solid. And the Chinese Civil War is still decidedly in like USA's, like NATO's favor.
Yeah, absolutely. Still a tremendous amount of warlords there in China messing things up for us. It looks like it belongs to us, but when you actually click on it, you can see all of the influence here from the U.S. Pretty much supporting all those warlords in that region. It's going to be tough for us to break through.
Yeah, because that event chain's not in, so it's still decidedly quite nationalist China, which if they had to choose between the USSR and the USA, they would probably be pro-USA when you get down and dirty.
Yeah.
But as you see, you look at the map, and it's very blue.
Very. All right, so it is now our turn once again.
So what did they place in the Pacific? That's concerning.
Let's take a look here.
Because we can see in the sea around northern Japan.
We'll go over here to, let's take a look.
No, northern Japan. Oh, I'm probably a bit delayed.
Yeah, it's a 10-second delay. It's kind of... Okay, so it looks like they've got a cruiser here.
Oh, a surface fleet.
Yeah.
Well, on the other hand, if we act quickly enough, we can get the troops down. And we already have a sub to defend against a carrier incursion, and they only have their one carrier, and we have a surface fleet that will offset any surface fleets they want to bring in. Because you can do cross-theater maneuvers, so they could theoretically bring this fleet into the Aleutian region. And since they decide to do this, they probably don't have troops in the Aleutians yet. So if we recon the Aleutians, we can see that it's probably empty. But we'll do that next turn before we attempt to land. Unless we have troops nearby. I can't remember our troop placement yet. So, it's not too concerning yet. So if we go back to Eastern Europe, we can get our focus on the Aleutians. Maybe wrestle away from the Americans. Yeah, so we do have our army command there all ready to land. So let's recon the islands just to get this on the safe side.
So we'll recon the Aleutians once again.
Just to make sure they didn't place anything. I did note it. I'm pretty sure we can see land units, so...
Let's take a look here. Let's pop it.
Better safe than sorry. I remember that time.
All right, we failed once on recon. Well, shall we chance it again?
Yeah.
Let's do it. We failed twice on recon.
Go for a third.
Okay, there we go. I don't see anything. I don't see anything.
Okay, land the troops. Like, god dang.
Yeah, that... We have... Our gambling has not been great during this LP. All right, so here we go.
The odds, like...
All right, so...
I understood failing with, like, De Gaulle, but you're failing, like, several times on, like, 70s and 80s. These are, like, paradox odds.
Yes, they are. So, just quickly, I've actually... This is my first time landing a fleet. So we want to click the actual button with the little dock symbol, right? Not the plus.
Yes.
Okay.
That's just the passive ability.
All right, here we go, guys. Warzone declaration.
Hell yeah.
Here we go, guys. You guys wanted war. We're going to proceed.
Well, we're just going to occupy. It's not like they can really do much.
Glorious. Very nice. Okay. I might have to take the old doggo out for a walk here. He's going nuts. You already went out 3 times today, dude. Unacceptable. And I've ordered my pizza.
If the dog's anything like my dog's like 4 times, how about 5?
Yeah, exactly. Precisely. He also looks like, and he really does look a lot like Laika. So you just keep that in mind, Bullet. Just keep on asking to go outside.
And we're gonna put you in space.
Exactly.
That's all outside we're gonna get.
Yeah, we'll put you outside. Take all the potty breaks you want.
That's fine. Now we can start influencing Aleutian Islands. Now that we got a tank there. And I don't think they have anything in West Berlin. If they do, we still have some surface fleets to protect our... Oh, Lord. Do we only have surface fleets there?
I believe
we need to get a sub there.
Yeah, I believe
Unless
so.
they chance it.
Yeah, we do. We have 2 surface fleets, but no subs.
Oh, we need to protect those.
Yeah.
We might get bit in the ass, actually.
Let's see. So they did the long telegram. They're doing the long telegram.
Yep.
Let's see if
they now got the Doomstick, because that's what the long telegram does.
Uh-oh.
We're now at 5. Well, it gave them an extra 4.
So it looks like they're trying to get to nuclear war if possible.
No, they're probably just getting Marshall and NATO up.
Oh, neat.
That would be my guess. Wars coming? Nah, not really. But it's really hard to. That's the USSR right now.
I'm surprised that nobody has done anything in the Indochina region or Southeast Asia.
There's not really much you can do there.
There's not, but I mean, just look at, like, if we're just looking at it, we could easily completely dominate this region. It's like everything is at 2.
Yes, but at the same time, not particularly. Like, we can.
Yeah.
And we probably will as we move, but it's one of those, like, tough things.
Well, it's like, the way I see it is this, is it's sort of, how could I put this? It's sort of inconsequential if we do, because sure, we'll get some points, but not enough to really override them.
To get up to control to get the extra point out of this region. I think we need to get up to 50%.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah, so that will require us to spend at least 8 turns increasing
Oh no! Hold on, enemy maneuvers, they maneuvered into the Aleutian Islands.
Yeah, that's
fleet.
what I kind of thought would happen.
Oh boy. Oh,
so
they destroyed...
Yeah, that's what I feared.
Oh,
I messed up there, and I apologize
that's okay,
for
that's
that one.
fine, man, don't worry about it. So, should we go ahead and take a sub and move in there, or too late now?
I would move the fleet out.
So get the fleet. So should we move? We'll move the fleet back to our far eastern zone. All right.
If they decide to put if they decide to move their carrier there, then we can deal with it. But we've landed troops, so that's going to be a pain in the ass if they want to do anything. Let them bring. But for now, maybe we can fire. Yeah, that's fine. Just leave it there.
Okay.
Because we have 2 subs to help cover them, and if they bring up the carrier fleet into the Aleutians area, well, let's destroy it with a sub. Like, unfortunately, we lost the fleet, and that's gonna hurt. As you see, our points really took they took a really big hit. Oh,
yes, yeah.
They gained points, but we need them to do something silly. So what are they gonna do? So I wonder if that will draw in any of the Pacific Fleet. I remember against one player, I East Asia, he had like all of his carriers in one area, and because they had air superiority, I couldn't like break it down. What I did have was subs.
Oh, interesting.
And I swamped all of his fleet. Like, he had like 2 surface fleets and 3 carriers. But subs work similar to bombers against carriers, where, or at least they used to. I locked down his 2 surface fleets into reorganization, like, I failed twice on the combat. But then the one sub stuck through into 3 carrier fleets. And after that point, the USSR was golden, and he was quite frustrated with me and launched all the nukes. I lost, but I felt really good. I don't care.
If we're gonna go down, if we're gonna go down, we can at least go down in a victorious way. It's back. Okay, so it's back to us. Now, obviously, I don't see anything in the illusions, but well, no, we have the surface, not the surface fleet, the tank there, so we would see if they moved anything in there, wouldn't we, without recon?
Yeah, and we can also move a fighter jet there if we really want to.
Okay.
But in the meantime, it sounds like they're doing something in Europe. They used the Gull.
They did.
For something.
Probably boosted a little bit of influence.
I would say that, Davide, that the USA has like a lot of power. Still just a bit too much.
So Sorry, go ahead, Donald.
I know it down the pipe, it's gonna move more, like become more even with a lot of event chains and decisions that we're working on. But right now, it's still rather like the USA and the player playing them needs to mess up quite a bit for the USSR to like really pull out ahead. Like we could do it, but it's gonna be a lot more difficult. Definitely since like East Asia is rather static at the moment. So they used it in the French zone.
Yeah, I saw that, the French-Belgian zone.
Yeah, it is pretty grim for the commies, and it is tough. Like when Agrippa was like, "We're gonna play the Soviets." Oh, hard mode.
It's definitely a lot tougher to play as the Eastern Bloc. There's no doubt about that. Let me just take a look here at the Molotov plan. We don't want to use the Molotov plan yet, do we? No.
Does it require just art influence in those areas?
It's 3 finance, 3 people, 4 government, and we gain up to 15% influence in Western Europe. It seems a bit expensive.
Actually, because we have a fair amount of people power,
we
could bring in tanks from Eastern Europe and put it on Greece.
Oh, I like this idea. All right.
And if we just fortify 1, so this is going to cost us a total of 2 people power, so that brings us down to I'm going to say 4, and it costs us 3 to fire off that plan. Then we can get Greece as a part of this deal.
All right, so we got that tank in Greece now that we brought over from Eastern Europe, of course. It's going to be their turn.
Like, they shouldn't be able to see that. I'm pretty sure they can't see that because they don't own it.
Right, they just have a little bit of influence there.
But it's not like we would lose that tank because it's not a war zone. You can only like really lose units in war zones. That's why I felt a little bad about the illusions. Like, that was my mistake. We should have moved in the sub first. Because subs, I believe, cannot... Well, no, they can be, I believe, by surface fleets. But since we had surface fleet cover, they would have been fine.
They're still making some decisions here, but yeah, they could use de Gaulle to pretty much bring the entire Iberian Peninsula
into their grasp. It really depends
grasp.
on how much they value Greece over, say, getting Italy up to 3.
I know if I were playing as them, I would. That's exactly what I would do: is boost influence in Italy and grab that too. And then, of course, any movement of our forces into Italy would be an automatic declaration of war, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would think that the correct thing to do, unless they have a better plan here, would be take Italy, and at that point, they know we can't leave Yugoslavia or Greece. We pretty much have to work from there.
I like your optimism, underground dude.
Yes. What did he say? And don't forget, we also have Finland. We could send troops through Finland, but...
Oh, we don't need to, because the Molotov plan will give us influence in places that don't have enemy presence, and presence means anything more than 0.
Okay,
so
yeah, that would be nice.
The Americans need at least one. So if we fire the Molotov plan, it will improve in Yugoslavia, which kind of sucks, because that'll bring it up to 5. So we really kind of want to get Tito to burn that a little bit. We can do that. And Finland and Ireland will get a bit of that 15 influence gain in Western Europe. And if we can get Greece to 0, Greece will get a bit of it. And 15% in Western Europe out of 75 points. At least 10, that's 7 influence at least. Another 5, so that's 3-ish more. So like 10 influence gained in Western Europe. Maybe 12, 11. Depends how the rounding works.
Seems like a tremendous amount, but yeah, I can...
And they will be focused in those places, in Ireland, Finland, and Greece. And Yugoslavia, unfortunately. But that's why we'll hire Tito.
Yes.
So we can burn off some of that so the USA can't immediately get a full doomsday clock. Because to heck with the USA. That's what I say.
Exactly.
That's we only have like one more turn to do. So as long as I think Molotov plan requires a certain amount of doomsday clock, which we should check. But it really depends. Like, are they going to fire the Marshall Plan?
That's a good question. Again, like I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised they haven't done it already.
Our plans for Greece, because if we fire the Marshall and the Greece gets too many points into it, because the Marshall Plan works similar to the Molotov Plan, they would gain points in places where they have influence, like Greece, unfortunately.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So it's kind of a race for Greece. The race for Greece.
The race for Greece. It'd be amazing if the entire Cold War rested on who takes Greece. All right, here we go. Our turn.
Wow. So they didn't launch the Marshall?
I guess not. Nope. Greece is fine.
They can't afford it?
That could be the case, yeah.
Okay, quick question. Greece for Greece. Does the Molotov plan for Western Europe, does it require a certain amount of doomsday?
Let's take a look. I don't believe so, because it just says here we have to spend 3 finance, 3 people, and 4 government, and then we gain up to 15% influence in Western Europe, but restricted to regions without enemy presence. So I don't think so.
Okay, what did the USA do in their last turn?
Let's take a look here. Good question. Regional control established in French-Belgian zone. Well, we already saw that happen. We lost 1 people focus.
Yeah, we did that when we moved the troop Greece.
Oh, that's right.
Because it's out of theater, right?
Maybe they didn't have enough points to do anything. Because, I don't see anything in the message log, at least.
No, they definitely had a turn. So maybe they did something that we aren't aware of. Let's check Eastern Europe. Maybe they moved something in the Aleutian zone?
Oh, yes. That's a good point. I don't see anything there.
Oh, no, I think we need to take a look.
Or should we do a scouting mission here? Or a recon?
No. I think we're fine, but that's odd. What are they doing?
It's got me concerned.
Don't waste elites. We should probably just do harmonization in Eastern Europe, East Asia, because I don't think we're gonna get that high again.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's pop harmonization of ideas here.
Yeah,
right.
Let's get some more. Because it doesn't really cost us much, and it would be pretty good. And we should do Northern Neighbor, see if we can light a fire. Ooh, nice. Kind of took away a bit of Japan there.
Yes, we did.
And we did reduce, I think we reduced them down from control to presence. So they're going to get less points from East Asia. So let's go to North America.
All right.
Oh wait, actually no. We have Doomsday Clock, so it's not going to be as strong. What we can do is we should probably try some espionage and see how many elite the USA has.
Okay, so when just one question: when we are doing the espionage, does it matter on what region in the North American sector we click on, or it doesn't really matter?
I believe it's espionage that we want to use, and we want to do the one that gives us the best chance.
Okay, I see what you mean. In other words, the highest one. So, in this case, yeah, 80%.
Because if you mouse over espionage, it'll tell you like what it entails. Espionage is pretty useful.
So we're gonna pop it. I think we'll pop it over here in Nova Scotia. 80% chance of us discovering.
Yeah, will we succeed or fail 3 times? That's
exactly.
the question.
We're gonna have another De Gaulle incident. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, all right. First failure. Here we go. Second failure. Oh my God.
No, for 80%, really?
Well, now we're down to 60%. Man.
Did we ever see? Oh, they have 4 elite. Oh,
do we go again?
No, that's fine. We got what we wanted.
All right.
Oh, wow. You used that a lot of times, I think.
Yeah, twice.
Because it looks like you succeeded twice.
Oh, maybe I succeeded and didn't realize, because I thought that when it did the click, we didn't get any information here.
No, I heard the click, which was the right noise.
Damn it.
And it came up in the message log.
In that case, yeah, I did one too many.
Yeah, see, like, I was a betting man. I guess 4, right? They have 4 in their arsenal.
Yeah, 4 elites.
So when you click the nuclear icon in the top, it actually shows you that, because you never actually know what the USA has. You just guess. But now you know for sure.
Sorry to interrupt you, man. Feel free to keep talking, but I believe the food has arrived.
Wait, can you go back to that message log?
Hello?
Like, a turn didn't change.
Não, quer dizer, o andar é o terceiro, mas a minha campainha não funciona. Estás a perceber? Pois... vem logo abaixo, meu amigo. Tá bem, obrigadito, já. Be right back, guys. Trying to get you into the message log before I go downstairs. It's like...
Yeah, because I saw something odd. Because we're still on the 1 turn.
Be right back.
Why did they go from 3 arsenal to 4 arsenal and the turn hasn't changed? Bork. Yeah, it's Portuguese. I remember talking about that a long time ago. So, nuclear war is rather disadvantageous for the USSR because we have like 1, maybe going up to 2 nukes. Yeah, we do things twice to be sure, but for some reason Americans gained an extra nuke literally in the meantime. I'm not sure how that happened.
That is weird. So should we go ahead and pop the northern neighbors, or?
Nah, because we get the most out of it if we actually had no Doomsday Clock, because you gain 2% for every 1, so you might as well aim for the 6% and not the 9%, and no, yeah, 6% instead of the 4%. Sorry, that we would currently get. Actually, we'd only get 2%.
Oh, that's really not much.
So we go to Greece, and we increase its influence by 1, or we are the communist. And Stalin did not get his nose out of Greece this time around.
So are we going to go ahead and use the military in Greece to boost that influence?
Yep, we're going to fortify.
Let's do it. Okay. Okay, we're moving soon into 1960.
We are going to enter the third timeline.
Are we? Let me ask you this, Donald. Is there any way to save a multiplayer game like this?
I don't think so. Not yet, I believe.
Okay.
I know that we have it in the works, but have we released it yet? No, I think it's single player only. Okay. I know that we're doing it soon, but I don't think we can save yet. The thing is, like, eventually you have a timer that you have to work with, so... Oh boy.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough right now for the Soviets.
22-8. And the USA definitely has more nukes than... Ah, there you go. For now, it's single player only. Yeah, the first way. I can remember the specifications.
Okay, no worries.
Okay, let's see what we get for this turn. Well, then, I think we should disarm Eastern Europe.
All right, let's go for it. So, in terms of our focus, yeah, people focus is going to be fine. So we'll stick to people focus, and there we go.
We can get finance. Finance is easier to burn.
Too late.
Well.
We're pretty good on finance, but I see what you mean. I mean, we will eventually need it.
Well, we are going to fire off the Molotov plan, so I guess that works.
Right.
C'est la vie. What's done is done. We'll just do a lot more out of the interaction. Compensate, because that's the only way to burn people. I don't think that people mismanagement for the USSR yet, but you should always play like being max or being minimal, or like having zero of an interest would end you, because eventually it will end you. Well, not immediately, but there are usually event chains that follow.
Right.
And some may not go the way you would like. But we have 2 whole nukes. We are getting places.
2 nukes. Just incredible. 1 for London, 1 for New York, I presume. It's about as good as we can do.
Disarmament.
Nah, 1 for Paris.
Oh, yes. Especially with de Gaulle in there. He won't be able to dodge a nuclear bomb, or will he?
No, so what did they choose then? They did not go for... Oh yeah, we're going to take the illusion. Just put
all right, so at this point, yeah, just boost the illusions.
Get it up to control.
So to 3, pretty much.
Yep.
And this way, we at least don't have to worry about the illusions anymore. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then we just put the rest of the points to good old West Berlin.
Yes. All right.
Because we just want to control it so the USA doesn't get to, like, sneak in with some deployment.
Yeah, I feel a lot safer, frankly. At least with the illusions controlled, I feel much safer. Not that, I mean, it's a bit late to feel safe, but, yeah, I think that's decent.
Like, you know, just feel a little bit more warm and fuzzy inside at night.
Exactly.
So it is our turn. So, now that the Doomsday clock is down to 0, we can fire off that northern neighbors that we had looked at. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, the Molotov plan is disabled now.
Let's do that. So, let's pop northern neighbors. Greenland is coming into the fold. Alright, so we've popped northern neighbors. Now the other 2 options, the ideological sympathizers, and we also have the purging the apparatchiks. Spend 3 government to block your opponent's next action policy.
Let's do a bit more. Actually, let's go to state affairs.
All right.
Then some military on space. Maybe nukes. Maybe both.
So we should go for animal in orbit.
Oh yeah.
Bullet, come here. It's time to go inside the space shuttle. Come on. Here we go. Boom.
Okay, slowly on points. You only get these points if you get it first.
Oh, nice. Oh, I didn't even realize that. So in other words, if I pop it, they pop it. They're not going to get the victory points for it.
Yeah, they don't get it. We do.
And we want the ballistic missile attachment on nuclear.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to do as much military as we can without going to zero.
All right, let's do it.
Our bomber commands can now deliver ballistic strikes.
So.
Nice. We can't get the ICBM, but pretty damn good. With the ballistic missile.
Don't worry about it. I have a suggestion.
Sure.
But first, we're gonna go to Eastern Europe. Go back to North America, and we're going to spy on the Americans and see how much people they have.
All right. So this would be espionage, and we'll once again pop it in the sort of Nova Scotia region here.
Mm-hmm. We just kind of want to see how much they have. Just do it once. If it's click, it's a success, I believe.
2 people, 8 FP, and 2 arsenal.
That's not bad. Let's fire off that the other thing then. I don't, because we're going to be getting, like, both sides during this disarm are going to be getting people, so this is our best chance to get something.
So we'll go ahead and boost ideological sympathizers.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. Change the look of the map a bit.
See?
Like that.
And purging the apparition. So
yeah, let's purge the apparatchiks.
What the Americans can do.
Nice.
14%.
Nice. I still don't think we can grab a victory, but I think we can at least frustrate them a little bit here.
Make them sweat.
That's certainly.
Problem is they could like put down fighter jets in all of those places, but since we've also done purging the apparatchiks, if they decide to fire NORAD, it will fail.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, we have one whole influence in Greenland, the most strategic of all places.
I think that's wonderful how Greenland is turning to the Eastern Bloc.
But yeah, so I'm pretty sure we did actually need that Doomsday to fire off the Molotov plan, but it them's the breaks. We used the government anyhow, and I think for the better. Now, the next thing we're going to do is how to get good old... Actually, let's see what the Americans chose for this phase. They probably chose their home theater, too, because it was a disarm. So they are going to get even points back.
Let's take a look here. Focus.
So, yeah, we should be able to see what the Americans chose.
I believe they took Eastern Europe.
No,
sorry, we took Eastern Europe, so they took they took their own home theater, North America.
And they chose people power too. Wow, crap!
Wow.
we're gonna get a ton of people interest this phase. Wow, that is wildly unfortunate. Yeah, we definitely.
It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough.
We're gonna be doing a ton of things. Oh wow. Okay, what do we do in the meantime then?
Couldn't we pop Tito, try to grab Greece, maybe even try to grab Italy?
No, we don't have the government for that.
That's right.
Which would have worked better. Well, I think we have enough. How much do we have?
We have 3.
And how much does Tito cost?
Let's take a look. We might have enough.
I
think we have enough.
Do we have...
He costs exactly 3, so in other words, if we...
Yeah, we don't have enough.
Yeah. I mean, we have enough to pop him, just not enough for him to do anything, pretty much.
Yeah, no, them's the breaks. So what we are going to do in the meantime is we're going to gain military power. Do you know how to gain military power sneakily?
How would we go about that?
Would you like to know? Would you like to know more?
Of course.
I'm gonna let's go to a place that likely does not have American troops, like South America, with 1 influence in it.
Okay. It looks like South
We're
America's
gonna use the most fancy of all, activity. Oh dang! We want to find a place with just 1 American influence.
So let's look
Maybe
try to look at Africa.
Middle East probably work best. Africa would do.
Yeah, Africa would work.
And Africa would probably be best.
Yeah, here we go.
I doubt they've got any troops there.
As far as I can see, no troops, and we've got quite a few areas here. Namibia.
I'm gonna go on bit of a hunch here that he doesn't have anything in southern Antarctica. So we are going to infiltrate the southern Antarctica because it's got the highest chance. And we're going to try to change our elites into military. So if an area doesn't have any military units to bed our elites on, we steal, magically, military influence from the Americans. That's fine.
So
we go to the KGB and we infiltrate.
All right. So if we're going for southern Antarctica, we want to go for the Arctic here.
Well, we
or can no.
Like I mean, like we stay in the African theater, but we're going to use our KGB to infiltrate. And the bet you have the most success in influence regions 1 of the enemy.
Oh, I see. Okay, and I see what I see what you mean here. So we've got the southern Antarctic, 60% chance. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Loses 1 elites. Hold on, my friends.
Did we gain 1?
Alô? Tudo bem, meu amigo? Hã?
Yep, that's 1 military.
Espera segundo, bro. Diz lá outra vez.
So, as I'm pointing out, this is how I sometimes, under the radar, gain military influence. I infiltrate regions to gain military influence away from the USA, so I can stay ahead on military technology, or at least keep up with military technology. Like, most of the time I won't actually do focus on military because I'll just use elite. It's tough, but we will manage. What we need to do is catch up with nuclear. Like, right now we can probably pick up another... Well, I'm playing the USSR right now, so I kind of want us to win. My specialty is not Noob Davide. It is just, trying to keep ahead. As the USA, it's my specialty, but I use this strategy as USA too.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Shall we infiltrate once again, or?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're gonna infiltrate down to like 1.
Oh my god, we failed again.
No, we succeeded once.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay, so we went from 2 military. All right, I see. No, because I just infiltrated again. I thought we didn't succeed.
No. Well, yeah, we will fail occasionally, but this is how we can potentially gain more.
Oh, wait, so we just keep going, essentially.
Yeah, but until you have 1 left. Well, actually, I would save 2 just to be on the safe side.
I think so too.
In case we need some supplies.
No, I've got to. No, I have to understand this. So why does that occur? Is that just like sort of like a game bug, or?
No. Mouse over infiltrate. It is by design. See, you're at 4 military now. Out of nowhere.
What I mean to say is, like, how does that work? Like, what's the
infiltrate works 2 ways.
Right.
If there's a military unit in that zone, when you infiltrate, you permanently see what that unit has until it returns to its command reserve. If it doesn't have a military command, though, like any military units, like Army Command or any of that, the only thing that doesn't work on, by the way, is Submarine Command.
Right.
Then if it's empty, you're just going to a local American, flipping him some dollar bills and be like, so how's your latest nuclear technology? And he's like, pretty good, here, have some.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Understood.
So you're stealing, and the reverse is also true. Americans can also do that.
Oh, nice.
But this is how I can, without you, choosing military as a focus, like arms racing just for military, this is how I get it.
Yeah, that's fascinating. That does make sense, though. Like, just to
now we have military influence to spend on more nukes.
Oh, very nice. Let's go get next glorious Soviet science experiment, which we like to call ICBM attachment. Let's pop it.
Yeah.
Our bomber command
Oh man, if we could get a nuclear victory here, that would be hilarious.
Nah,
it's not going to happen.
We definitely need to catch up.
Yes, that would be so funny though. Because the last time we won with a nuclear victory as the West, but if we managed to do that as the East, that would be absolute madness. Okay, so
like it is possible. Like we haven't done military yet, and the Americans don't have as much as we do, and we had a lot more events pop up where we could pick up military, and we had more elites than the Americans. I know we just used a few, but we have more elites. So technically, I think we're ahead on the military influence.
Yeah.
And they are trying to keep up in the space race, so that means they need to spend some there. So that means they're not spending it on nukes. Because it uses the same resources. So we've had more elites overall. So in theory, like they're either going to be about on par with us, or we're going to get a slight edge in nuclear production while keeping ahead in the space race.
Okay, yeah.
So we're going to try to close the gap.
By the way, should we go ahead and we can hit done at this point now?
We can go ahead and I don't know. The focus is in Eastern Europe, so we can start deploying troops in other places that we might want to think of, like, say, the Middle East, because we got so much people power this timeline. Let's work on the Middle East.
Why not? We could, I mean, I think we can get in through Iran. No, maybe not. What I was thinking, we could also go for Africa, because Africa seems to be quite ignored.
Arguably, we could put, like, a lot of army commands in Eastern Europe, because he can't declare war on it, because it's not a focus, and we are going through 2 disarm phases. So the next phase, if we choose government, we could pull out a Super Tito and foil all Gellert's plans in Western Europe.
I like this idea, but I also like putting big guns inside Middle East.
We can do both, but we have about 5 turns before we max out on people influence. And theoretically, I don't think mismanagement for the USSR is in for people management, but we should treat it as such, and we should use as much of that because it's a waste of resource, right?
Right.
So, let's put some troops in the Middle East.
Fair enough. I agree. And do we have to specify what kind of troops? Just ground troops, pretty much, not necessarily any ships or anything like that.
I would put an army command down and then a fighter command, just so you have them in the region. And we're going to start building up influence in the Middle East because it's easier for us to get here than it is for the USA, because their capital is in Washington, right? So their logistics is based from Washington D.C.
Right.
And ours is based from Moscow, literally next door to Iran. Best of friends, right?
Exactly. I was just about to say we're going to jumpstart the Islamic Revolution here pretty soon. Drop our tank there, and hopefully bring Iran into the fold very quickly.
Because I don't think we've disarmed this, so they should still have some military units here. So we definitely want to put some fighter commands over our tanks.
I agree, yeah. I agree. This is why, like, earlier. This is why earlier I wanted to boost Iran up to 3, just because, like, the proximity to the Soviet Union is so close. It's like the
but we
jumping
also
off
wanted
point.
to reduce the influence that they had going through Turkey, because if they kept Greece, they could have theoretically had a logistic chain into the Middle East through Greece and Turkey.
Yeah, I think like the initial thing we got, getting rid of their influence in Anatolia, was definitely the right thing to do. Because as you mentioned, I mean, it's so easy just to get troops out there, pretty much spread around the Middle East.
Because the Americans have the advantage in naval superiority, so they can put their surface fleets where they need them to reduce deployment costs. Because that's what surface fleets do, by the way, in any region that they're surrounded by, like near. So if we had that surface fleet in Yugoslavia, and say our military army commands costed 2 force focus points to deploy, they don't. But just say for the scenario that they do, because of their passive convoying ability, it's now reduced by 1, so it only costs us 1. And the Americans have a lot of surface fleets. On the other hand, like I know we fired off a lot of nice things in North America, and we got a lot of influence there. They did disarm, so they're going to get about 8 points to spend and bring things back up to snuff. But I think we, caused them to, like, what are they down to? Like, they were controlled. They're probably down to presence now. Or maybe they're still controlled. But it's much tighter. They're not going to get to domination, which is another extra point.
Let's take a look.
So if you want to look,
let's just look at the world map here.
Because you get 3 points for a dominated theater at the end of timeline, 2 for controlled, and 1 for present.
So it looks like end of timeline. Well, that's for us. 1 presence, 50% control for 2 victory points regarding us.
Yeah.
How do we see their version of this?
Oh, you can.
Okay.
It will tally up at the end of the timeline, but you manually do it by looking through their theaters.
It looks to me like, so for instance, South America, it looks to me like maybe presence.
No, I say control.
You think so? Yeah, maybe.
Well, if you go in and you can look in, I'm pretty sure they had a lot of other areas with just like 2 points in it, so they're close to control.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you're absolutely right. In other words, they don't have to have complete control of these areas if they have like positive influence.
It's the points that matter.
Right.
So yeah, they're literally sitting at 50%. Like we could go in, remove 1, and they only get 1 point at the end of the timeline instead of 2.
Interesting.
Like if we hired like Peron and used them to fortify Argentina? Looks like Argentina.
Yep.
I apologize to all the people in South America that I've just probably offended because I don't know the geography as well.
No, one Peron is dictator of Argentina. So by the way, they had Imre Nagy rise up in Eastern Europe. Wow, that is weird.
They got someone in our backyard.
I don't like that.
To be fair, he's weak as hell, so
Yes,
it's kind of a waste of government. He can only like fortify about twice. That'll bring Eastern Europe down to 3. But we can always like put a tank in like Moscow and like throw him at Nagy.
Yeah. Look at that. Wait a minute. He's fallen from power. They've done something here.
Oh, he just used 2 influence points. Oh, he probably put it in the Illusions.
Don't tell me. Oh, maybe he did. Well, we still have 3 in the Illusions. No, I don't think so. Oh, yes, you're right. You're right. He did. Yep, we're down to 2 in the Illusions. Oh.
Hold it. Well, we can put a tank there and just fortify.
We
got time.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Just to mess with their plans,
yeah,
because they're doing that so if they cross maneuver in, that it wouldn't become a war zone, and it's not going to be that cheap. For good measure, we can put a bomber command there, so in case of a nuclear war, we have a bomber command with easy access to America. Because that bomber command will be in range of the USA.
Oh, yes.
The communists have learned something from the Japanese. Always go for the Aleutian Islands.
Always.
Oh, wow, they overspent for military. A bellwether for wow, they're going through a lot of mismanagement. Oh, it actually might not work out well for them. It's also misspelled, I think. I don't think bellwether is spelled that way.
Yeah, it's missing an A. It's definitely missing an A. This is more similar to Bellwether. Wither away them bells. No, so it would be Bellweather.
Yeah.
It's just a simple mistake. But I'm like you. If I see like a minor spelling mistake in a game, I get a little annoyed. I'm like, wait a minute.
No, like it probably slipped by us when we were doing this chain. It's recent. But we definitely want to fix it. So, what I do is I just report. I'm just writing it down for now.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, just something to take a look at. I'm still totally confused as to... Well, actually, no, it makes sense because they wanted to get that influence in the Aleutians. But just to get Imre Nagy to make that happen, I guess that was the only thing they could do to be able to change
if they, because of this event change, probably like exchange other influence points for the military that they're lacking. Because the bellwether for the nation, the USA has spent out their military. They're at 0 military influence.
Oh, wow.
So they went in and bought in the big guns. So they probably went all out on nuclear technology purchasing.
Oh boy. So
which is why I advise you not to do these things, because the military mismanagement for the USSR is far more rough than for the USA. The power of democracy compels you, unfortunately. It's a little bit more flexible.
These are lies of the bourgeoisie, as far as I'm concerned. No, I can absolutely see that.
Like,
okay.
if they keep mismanaging, then they could potentially just lose, and it'll just be Soviet victory.
A Sherman-esque statement happened for the USA?
Like, I can't give it away, but I think that's a terrible... I think that's a positive resolution.
Okay.
I'm working for a memory on an event chain, because that would be too much. Like, we have these mapped out. So I'm trying to avoid doing that. I'm literally just working... I think it's a positive resolution. But,
so now, Donald, what do you think we should do here? Should we perhaps go ahead and boost the illusions back to 3? Yeah, I was just thinking that. So we'll boost it back to 3.
So they can't have any funny ideas about landing on these properly Russian islands. We're buying back Alaska, baby.
Exactly. All things considered, I mean, we've already had some Alaskan influence without even wanting to. Just happen to get it. Both times we played this game, that's occurred. We're just, for some reason, the Alaskans love us.
Every game that I play, that occurs. Like, yes. It's not even just with you. Every time I do testing or I play this game, and it only seems to happen with multiplayer. And it drives me nuts because we can't really.
You know, you really are. You really are a sort of Alaskan Donald Trump. No matter what you do, your supporters are gonna love you. If you could be working for the Soviets, you could be working for NATO.
The thing is, it's like I am working for the Soviets, and Alaska's like, we love these Russians. Right. We totally thought this purchase thing was a terrible idea.
Terrible. It's actually a Journeyman Pictures documentary I've been meaning to see, which talks about the Russian settlers in the 19th century in Alaska, or late 19th century, sort of the people that lived there on the rim or whatever. It seems like an interesting topic.
On the other hand, like, we just... Actually, we wasted 1 force pool point, and they wasted probably 2, maybe 1 or 2 government points to bring out Nagi. So... It's not that bad, all things considered. When you think about the exchange.
It sort of reminded me of, like, a hot potato situation. We just sort of... No one really got away with anything. We just sort of... They passed it to us, we passed it back.
Yeah, we definitely want to put a bomber in the Aleutians. Yeah, mostly for nuclear deployment.
Let's do that.
Actually, we have ICBMs now, so don't bother.
Okay, alright. We will not do that.
Thought about it, but then I was like, we can just launch them from anywhere now. No one cares.
Yeah, nuke is a nuke.
Doesn't matter now. Just need them to land.
Exactly.
So let's go back to our Middle East experiment and probably give it a fighter command and then start having a journey across the Middle East.
I like
Get
this.
More Iranian influence.
So we're going to pop a fighter command here in Iran.
Yeah.
There we go. And yeah, I guess the goal is to take Iran, take Iraq.
The love of communism.
Yes. One second, my friend.
Yep. Now we're just waiting for the Americans to do naughty, naughty things.
You better be getting some overtime for this, Donald. We've gone almost 3 hours.
It's okay. It's not even supper time here, so.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Fine.
Well, let's see. Let me just try and.
Unlike these silly Europeans over there, where it's like 9, getting close to 10.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, being at work and being able to play a game, pretty cool. When I was at Slytherin, we got to do that. I was like, this is quite fun. I could do this for a while. All right, back to our turn. So at this point, can we go ahead and boost influence in Iran with our tanks?
Oh, wow.
All right, beautiful.
We're safe to do so now.
Beautiful.
That's what. It's mostly about safety because you don't want to give the Americans more points than they need. Already made that mistake with that silly surface fleet. My bad. Take full credit for that one.
Let's see here. I'm eventually going to have to take the dog out here, guys, but we will finish the game. Unless some crazy thing happens.
Unfortunately, because we're doing so much people power, we can't even finish by nukes. Well, like, I would advise not finishing by nukes
Warpig,
so much.
I would consider that if it didn't get so much, like, backlash. I think we can certainly mess with other world leaders, but I think if we touch upon that particular one, we're going to offend somebody.
Yeah, fortunately, too many Americans like to.
Yeah. No need to say anything else, but yes, you essentially get where I'm going with that. What are you? Some kind of you need a safe space or something? No, I just don't like. Well, go to your safe space. Okay, all right, fair enough.
My safe space is now over here. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. All right, here we go. We're gonna take Iran officially,
and then we'll move into Turkey.
Yep. Yeah, who cares about Iraq?
Meh.
You know, another reason that it would be great to take Turkey, if we could take all of Anatolia, then we could also move troops in from Anatolia as well. We'd have essentially two regions where we can move troops into. But I think it would take a little too long to, like, completely control the Middle East.
For some reason, if we lose Yugoslavia, we can have troops through Turkey into Greece, so, you know.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, it's a bit roundabout. We kind of got to go through the Caucasus, but, you know.
You could just imagine, though, like, you know, just getting Turks and Greeks to work together on anything that's a really, really rough thing to do.
Communism does weird things.
It does, yes. We are comrades, but you're also used to be Ottomans. We will not forget.
We are not too comrade-y.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure, like, the Turks and the Greeks are still in NATO, and I'm pretty sure most of the Greek military budget is spent against Turkey.
It is okay.
Last I checked. Maybe that changed.
Look, our Turkish friends, is no problem. Just as long as you accept that Cyprus belongs completely to us. Right, comrades? No total global war. Here we go. All right, so once again, at this point, so do we want to go ahead and just start moving now, or do we want to pop another...
Let's move to Turkey!
Let's go.
We're just going to take a nice little trip throughout the Middle East, because why not? I mean, theoretically, we could just move into, like, make our way into, like, Egypt, but I kind of want to make sure you have security into Europe.
Yeah, I think so, too.
We could do both, but what I'm really trying to do is spend these massive pool of people points that we are going to accrue through this entire timeline.
Yes. It's crazy. I believe when we were playing as the West, that was our biggest issue, was lack of people points and lack of government points, but now it's insane.
Yeah, now we're going to have 16 turns of people power.
Jeez. Okay, once again, we want to go ahead and boost in central Turkey.
I move our fight. Well, he hasn't attacked us, so yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I don't see any movement.
If he attacks us, we can always immediately move with fighter cover in, but he hasn't. Oh, it's gotta be late over there. And dark outside.
Currently 9:44. I'll take the
plus side. It's less winter out there, so you know.
Yes.
That's plus.
Less cold.
Disarmament.
Less Canada.
Less Canada.
And now we'll watch it slowly turn blue again. But that's fine. Like we knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah. And this is par for the course, I think.
We got them pretty far away with dominance, so that's pretty solid. Like they're on the dot actually for control in North America.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, now they've got control, but yeah.
Yeah, they got another 8 more points, but did they just?
Let's take a look at what they did, because I was also confused by that. I saw.
Here we go. Now they're spending.
Let's see. Okay, yeah. So they're just they popped 3 influence in French Polynesia.
Yeah, they brought it back under control. Make sure that when we come over. Like, we did a lot of damage. Greenland's still red. That's Greenland. But we can't do anything about it because we don't actually have logistics to get there.
Right,
because Europe's in the way. Pesky Europe. So, it's a bastion of, like, communism. Far north. Not Canada. So what are the Americans doing with all of this people power? That is, well, maybe they're doing things in Central America? I really don't know what they're doing. Yeah, pesky Europe getting in the way of proper communism.
They're taking their time.
Actually, I've been kind of curious. What have they been doing? Like, and can you check the message log?
Yeah, let's take a look. Well, they took Alaska. We don't have to worry about that.
Like, I know they spent a lot of points.
A ton, yeah.
You can sneak in nukes for Greenland nuke launching, but at the same time, like, just having them in the Arctic is just as good. I guess we could move some of our subs from Eastern Europe into the Arctic. So if we scroll down a bit, like, you can see what they haven't been doing. Papua New Guinea zone. So they've been doing stuff in the Pacific. That's what they've been using their people influence for.
Yeah. Now wait a sec. You mentioned submarines in Eastern Europe, but I think we've been disarmed here.
Unfortunately, nowadays we don't have the advanced capabilities of launching nukes from subs yet. Unfortunately, that is far beyond us.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We need more elites, more military, preferably elites. So we might do an arms race next time around just for military, so we can just do that, maybe? Or at least elites. Sneakily gaining more military influence.
Alright, back to us. Do we want to continue our stampede through the Middle East, or...?
Oh, right, we don't have subs in
No, we don't. We got disarmed. Well, we could drop one, right? And then...
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
We can move it into the Arctic. But we need to spend our people power. So, like, let's continue our romp in the Middle East.
Yeah, I like our steam rolling through the Middle East. So let's keep.
Because what I want us to do is make sure not to waste people power, and we might begin to waste people power with deployment, because we're literally one away from max.
All right, so let's go ahead. We're gonna boost at least here in Eastern Turkey.
We can, but it's kind of like no point right now to take West Berlin. It's kind of isolated.
I'm gonna go ahead and boost here in Turkey.
Yep.
Let's do it. Boom.
Needs to be orange. Well, it's no real point to taking West Berlin.
Especially since we already control that zone almost entirely.
Like, eventually, yes. But to waste time on it when we should be spreading our influence in the Middle East and trying to make sure we're not so contained into Eastern Europe is far more important strategically. West Berlin is a little city that means nothing.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things. But picking up Turkey, maybe taking away Egypt from the Allies, that matters more. Taking West Berlin, or like the city of Berlin, is more of a pet project. Yeah, the long game. If we get another disarm in Eastern Europe, that's like a great way of using it. But to waste all the force points, like your turns, essentially, just to take use Berlin, is kind of like not the greatest idea. definitely against a human player, like XTRG, being steered, I'd imagine, by Gellert. Like, they're gonna think on a bit more of a geopolitical level. So right now, Berlin is rather neutered. They can't actually bring troops in because there's no way to get to it because we control the surrounding region of East Germany. And we've taken the Aleutian, so it's not like they can move planes from the East Aleutian Islands to Berlin.
Donald, we're gonna go ahead and snag Central Turkey.
Yep. Keep at it. Just paint it orange.
It's beautiful. So now we've got Iran, we've got Central Turkey. It'd be great if we could grab Anatolia, aka Western Turkey, because then we could get that, what's it called?
Then we get the Dardanelles.
Yeah, exactly, the ability to bring troops over. But I think, I could be wrong, I'm assuming they're going to do something to stop that. Because they pretty much just left that open. Our turn, yeah, that was quick, so they did something fast there. What do you say, Don? Should we go ahead and move into to the Turkish Cypriot zone here in Anatolia, or
you can recon it?
Yes, good idea.
If you're worried, of repeat Davide.
I am a little bit worried, yeah. And besides, 90% chance of us to get a recon, so why not?
Yeah. That's why we saved the elite for a rainy day.
Yep. Succeeded? Nothing.
Good. Move in. We don't lose that elite because we succeeded.
That is really surprising that they didn't put anything there. Fair enough.
Hey, their lots, our game.
Exactly.
And if they do decide to bring in some air support, we can just move our planes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. We've got the fighter command.
That's why it's there, ready to go.
Beautiful.
And
all right, I'm gonna have to leave. Just walk the dog quickly, my friend. If you can keep people entertained for 5-10 minutes.
Oh boy.
Hello.
The stakes are high.
Okay.
I can't do screen control, and I can just take over.
No, you're doing fine, Donald. You're absolutely awesome on the stream. Guys, I'll be back. I've got to get this dog walked. I'll be back in about 10 minutes. Typically, I wouldn't break in a stream like this, but we've been streaming for 3 hours, so you'll have to forgive me, my friends. Shall return. Do we want to do something? If we can do something really quick here to turn over to their turn, I will.
Just fortify. Fortify.
Yep. Right on, baby. Turkey is ours. Be right back, friends.
Well, just a bit more, but that's better than nothing.
Glory to the International Soviet. Let's go.
I mean, I get where you're coming from, Warpig, and it's not really take over, it's just control. And it takes 3 turns to do so, to at least bring from 0 to control. It's not domination. And the same thing can be done by the other player. So control just allows us to really move around deployment. If war is declared, it causes Doomsday Clock to rise. So I need to tell everyone here. Okay. I'm going to bring in everyone else. So let us talk strat without giving anything away. I'm not looking at your stream or anything. That would be wrong. That's up to Davide. But I figure we can all be here while Agrippa relieves the stress of a pent-up dog.
Oh.
Needs to walk, right? Usually doesn't do this.
Yeah, we were discussing how many more turns because essentially looking at how things are developing, I think you guys have played great. This has been a fantastic match.
Oh, I take fault for the surface sleep fiasco in the Aleutians.
What fiasco? You mean the heroic defense, the Aleutian?
Yeah, and so Roland just ran away. Yeah, no, that one was on me. There could have been a bit more of a defensive play there, but we just wanted to land and get out. But we didn't know if you like when you were gonna like potentially just land in some troops, so we wanted to land you and make sure you guys couldn't do anything in the meantime.
Well, it was.
And I see you guys have had trouble with your military and your elites. You've been overspending, I see.
Yeah,
I follow those event trees. I've had to test them, so I'm very aware.
We played the most aggressive play ever, right, XTRG?
So how many nukes do you have now? Because I'm pretty sure you've maxed out your nuclear spending. Certainly wasn't in space.
Not too far away, but I mean, when you go to the launch order authorization, it's currently saying 60 USA tree, and then for the Russians, it's only showing.
And I know that's BS because we outmatch you guys spy wise. So at best, you guys are probably sitting around 16 to 20 nukes.
Yeah. I mean, 20 nukes. Yeah, you got us on that one.
Missile gap, man. Missile gap.
It's true. So I see you guys have been doing a lot of things in the Pacific as well. That's how you've been spending your this timeline. And I was like, okay, Griffin, let's see what they chose. People. Okay, so we're doing something somewhere else for this entire round.
Well, the Pacific is wonderful, especially during wintertime, because
the Middle East is quite nice too. We're just taking a nice like roll through Turkey. Thinking maybe Egypt would be nice to visit. Could be Iraq. Could be Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of oil there for freedom, right?
So,
communist freedom.
What happened with the gold then?
So when we rolled the D20, we rolled one a lot. It was a 15% to assassinate de Gaulle.
Jeez.
We failed. Twice. I was like, oh, try one more time. And then he got stronger again. To 7. I was like, what the heck? Let's stop. We're only making him stronger.
Typical de Gaulle. Typical. You always think he's a particular go down.
I've succeeded on worse odds, but like we made him stronger. I'm like, what the heck?
He's good. He's good.
You're just making him mad now.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh, I have a question here by Warpig. Because we're having a romp in Turkey. I don't know if. And his question is, since we have you here, Gellert, I mean, since you have your army in the part of Turkey, why can't you just get the entire country?
Oh, because just rolling into a country doesn't mean that you gain control over that country.
He might change his question, but continue to clarify. But I'm trying to answer as best as I can.
Yeah. So you don't look at just how the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, but they spent 10 years waging war there, and the U.S. has spent 17 years trying to wage war against the Taliban, because you don't get necessarily control because you roll in with forces there. So what you need to do is you need to consolidate and fortify your power, and you do that by increasing influence. And if you don't increase influence, you don't actually gain control. Just basically you will be there guarding with your troops. And this is true regardless of where you go, because you will create an insurgency. An insurgency really is the populace not wanting you there. So unless you can't just win the war, you need to win the peace, and that is an essential part of the Cold War. Before that, in World War II, there was this idea that you could just win, specifically in World War I, but already in World War II, this was proven to be wrong. One example of that is Tito's forces and the partisans, not just in Yugoslavia, but also
Poland,
partisans
France,
Poland,
Russia.
exactly, right. And this is the reason why in World War II, Stalin actually stopped when the Polish Home Army rose up against the Nazi forces in Warsaw, in the Warsaw Uprising, and basically let the Nazis deal with the Polish, so they wouldn't have the power to rise up against any Soviet power that Stalin would impose upon the Polish after the defeat of the Third Reich. So, interestingly enough, this it became apparent how grand armies in of themselves would have the difficulty actually winning the peace.
Well, hopefully that helps. We're big because I figured might as well get game designer here to.
Yeah, I hope that clarifies the idea behind why you can't just move in and directly you just immediately gain control.
Mm-hmm. But what have you guys been going over there? Like sometimes your turns have been taking a while. Taking parties over here, like
Well,
taking a trip.
Well, we've
Talk show.
strategized, right?
Yeah, I imagine you guys went over your policies at the beginning. We did something similar. Talked about what things did. I would assume, maybe I assumed incorrectly. Yeah, I couldn't do what I wanted to do, which was to create a Tito. Things did not go that way. Did not have enough force pool points in the beginning to really do that.
We discussed that, didn't we, XTRG?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. Well, there's really not a whole lot it's do in the beginning. You kind of have a few things you can do, and you need to really exploit them. And Tito being strong can really cause havoc in Europe, as an example.
Yeah, but I think the XTRG had the idea of really when we discussed what we wanted to accomplish. I think the strategy so far has been really good, and without giving away sort of what our aim is, I think XTRG you set a good goal. We agreed upon it right at the start, and I think that has been successful so far.
It's hilarious.
Basically we want to turn Moscow into a lake.
That's fine. That's fair. I understand. Nuclear victory is what you're aiming for.
Hello, my friends.
Welcome back. So I brought everyone over to this channel. So just
Neato.
chat, have fun in the meantime. I did not give away anything, like a double agent that I am.
Hey, what's up?
Check the logs. It's all there.
No, I
Hello, Kalashnikov comrade. Welcome back.
Glory. It's so nice to be back. I spent almost 3 hours in Gulag. Misunderstanding.
So are you guys ready to continue?
Well, if you want to take this a quick break, just to do a little quick chat.
It's up to you guys. I mean, I don't mind because we've. I didn't expect it to last this long. We've really.
I did, but not exactly this long. I expected it to be about 2.5 hours.
Right.
Well, I would agree with that. I expected that we would have a quick round, but no. Wow, it has been a really close matchup, and so.
I know better.
Are you streaming right now, XTRG?
Yeah, I am.
Guys, make sure to subscribe to me on MySpace/AgrippaMaxentius. Does anybody use that anymore?
Are we bringing that back?
No. I just did. I just brought it back. I'm gonna start an account on MySpace now. I'll also check in my LinkedIn profile, Instagram too.
Those are still too relevant, man. You're messing up now. MySpace, yeah, that was good, but LinkedIn?
No, I know. Well, obviously you wouldn't. I'm not sure you'd share a channel on LinkedIn, but or even if you shared a channel, I guess you could share a strategy channel on Instagram.
That'd be weird.
Yeah, I guess you could.
Right up there with all those dogs and cats pictures. Exactly. You have someone taking over Japan or something.
Put up pictures of the Nanking massacre, the rape of Nanking.
Should we go through the last few turns here, then go into the next phase and call it there? Well, into the next time era, and then call it there.
Yeah, and I do want to say, that we have started. So going into the future, we will be able to save and continue multiplayer games as well. And the first prototype has been rolled out for the single player, and so for those who play single player Terminal Conflict. Now, you can actually save and continue the game, and we will be rolling that out also for multiplayer, and we are looking at the best venue and the best way to do that. So in the future, the idea, of course, is games like this, we can take a break if we want to, because unlike, and I mentioned this previously for XTRG, is that there will be a tournament mode that has a timer. Now we are playing, and I think everyone knows, without a timer, so we can take as much time as you want, strategize, do what we want to do. But in the future, there is a timer, and it is also linked to your government. So depending on the level of government you have, the timer in a turn will be lower or higher.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah,
Beat you
like
to
that.
it, Gellert. We talked about that already.
Aha!
Well, you guys are strategizing over there. I need to talk about something.
I think that's a great idea, and specifically the ability to save games, because quite frankly, this game, it takes a long time to complete a multiplayer game. I think that ability to save games is a big plus, definitely.
Terrific. So then let's agree to finish the timeline, and
I'll let you guys on some nukes.
Wait a second, but like before we finish anything, I have to plug my channel, which is napster.com/AgrippaMaxenius. A really good one, guys. Make sure to check it out.
That sounds trustworthy.
I'm pretty sure I just steal the viruses creep onto my hard drive.
Excellent. All right, guys, we'll jump over then to the lobby, and
Let's do that.
And we'll catch you guys soon.
At the end.
Right, see you soon.
Okay.
You're
Seems like
still here.
Yeah, I can't move.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do our turn. So boost up here.
Ah, there you go. I was like, XTRG is still here. We could probably make Yugoslavia a pretty tempting target if they want to launch nukes.
Yeah.
we could work a little bit in Europe too. We have a tank there in Greece.
Let's consider it. Yeah. Yeah, that tank's kind of just been sitting there, not doing much. I mean, well, it's been protecting our glorious Soviet interests, but. So sorry, I missed that when I was out. So did they come on and also say this is taking a bit long?
What do you mean?
I said
I invited them over, but
Oh, okay,
I had
okay.
to I had to go up to their channels. Like, could we bring it down to yours, because otherwise your community would listen to dead air.
Yes. Yeah. No, you did. I really appreciate that. You did an exceptional job. But
I don't think Turkey is a unitary state. Not as much as it believes. Like, last I checked, history says otherwise. Like,
But
pretty sure on the eastern side of Turkey, you still have the Armenians and the Kurds. Do you not?
they're a very small minority, Donald.
I guess now they are.
Ridiculously small minority. I mean, like, the Kurds have always been a thorn in Turkey's side. And the issue with the Kurds is that there are Kurdish communities in Iraq, there are Kurdish communities in Syria and in Turkey. So actually,
I know, but his question is, like, since Turkey is a unitary state, I don't think it's nearly as unitary as might be entailed. Because he's like, can't you take the whole country as a whole? Well, it's like, would you argue, like, Canada is in several parts? So is the USA. So is Russia.
Yeah,
and I would consider those far more unitary states, maybe aside from Quebec, than Turkey.
Turkey's definitely not.
More.
Turkey's definitely not a unitary state. Also considering, so for instance, where Istanbul is, there is a big cultural difference between Turks from Istanbul and Turks from Anatolia, or like the western coast. You know.
Yeah, imagine there's enough difference between the two that you can split it the same way that Quebec is split from Ontario or the prairies.
Yeah,
it's not like one side will have more influence than the other. Kind of like, I guess we could have probably split Italy up into more, but at that point, that's just a bit much, I think.
Well, it's like if you look at like Istanbul, and actually even like as a matter of fact, even Western Anatolia would be the same. You get like how can I put this without sounding like a racist douche? You get a lot of like blonde hair, blue eyes Turks. You know, you get Turks that look quite European, and as you head like farther east, you get darker Turks, etc. So I think that I wouldn't call it unitary. There's definitely differences there, but like the minorities, like the Kurds and the Armenians, are like true minorities, like really small.
That could be, yeah, like, I'm not as familiar with Turkish politics. Like, I'm Canadian, and we're rather backwater over here. So, like, most of my European history was going to be more focused on English and the French.
Oh, yes.
Because that's what makes up my country, right? And, like, leading up to it, like, I took extra history classes on the side, but I had to take those as an aside. It wasn't a part of my core education. That I get through high school. I had to pick those up as electives or like something on the side during high school. Well, that's kind of far from the point. Let's fortify in Greece here because Greece is nice. But at the same time, like I'm looking at Greece and you know, there's Albania is a part of Yugoslavia, so you know, there's that. The Yugoslavian zone, the area that composes of Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia would be the perfect example of a non-unitary state where you just have so many different cultural differences, even cultural differences within countries with their own identities. So like you have like Serbo-Croats and you know Bosnian Serbs and yeah, it gets
and
crazy.
I think I get where you're coming from, but like I don't know. There's probably a bit more difference than. Like, I know the state of Turkey is centralized, but that doesn't mean, like, throughout the 40 years or 40 to 50 years of playing this game that Turkey would stay centralized.
Right, yeah.
It just appears centralized to us because the whole area stayed united, but that doesn't mean during this period of time, because it's an alternate history, like, literally, it's alternate history, Marshall Plan never fired, that it had to stay unified. So you need to like introduce the fact that maybe some of these areas might have had different ideas compared to the rest. Oh wow, they're taking.
Sorry to interrupt you, Donald. We just got attacked off the western Japanese coast or eastern Korean coast, whichever you prefer.
That's fine. It's not a war zone, so it doesn't cost us. So at the same time, like, I don't know. It's rough. Turkey's weird. I don't know enough about it to really say much. Anything definitive. That said. Again, we're disarmed, so we can't actually start war zones, and that's why we remove troops out of war zones. So we can increase influence in Greece, or increase more in Turkey.
I say we take Turkey and call it a day.
Just make it nice.
Yeah, I like my OCD's getting to me. It has to be orange.
Paint the map.
Oh yes.
And then we'll get Greece next. Then we have like a nice path around the Aegean.
Yeah, I'm liking this.
But we need to... Do they still have max influence in Eastern Europe? I mean, Western Europe and Germany?
So they're not at 5, but they're nearly there.
Oh, we can. Let's put a fighter command in, say, Yugoslavia. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, France. I was confusing France with the Gulf. France is only at 3. We need a place where we can just start a nuclear war so the Americans can fire their nukes. So don't bother. Save that fighter for another day.
Will do.
I thought that maybe they had 5 influence. But they do not.
You want to try to kill De Gaulle again?
Nah, but what we can do is do them a solid and move troops into Yugoslavia and max out the influence there.
Yeah, let's do that.
So they have an easy target to max out the doomsday clock and end the game. Normally we don't do this, but...
We're just trying to wrap the game up quickly, yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna throw them a bone.
mean, all things considered, the score has remained pretty low, considering the amount of time we spent.
It could really ramp up if wars get out of hand.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna max out in Yugoslavia.
Yep. But at the same time, we're spending our people power. Like, yeah, we're losing troops in North Korea, but at the same time, it's not a war zone, so we're not actually losing points.
Yeah.
So we have 2 theaters where we have control, thus gain 2 points from. What is the other theater we have control in the Middle East?
I think so, yeah. We have some control in the Middle East. Because we took all of Turkey and Iran.
Okay, so we need to do arms race style. Let's go for broke and get military too.
Right on. Okay, so let's go to focus.
See if we can get a nice military arms race going on. Get all the nukes.
So what should we focus on to get? I guess we'll go.
We need an arms race. That's the only time we can do.
It's gonna have to be North America.
I mean, we could do Eastern Europe.
Let's see if Eastern Europe.
Or Western Europe. Western Europe will do it.
Oh, you're right. Oh, you're right. Oh, okay. Let's do Western Europe then.
What difficulty is this? This is normal. This is against another player. That's the difficulty level. XTRG and Gellert.
Arguably could be somewhat higher.
So we threw you a bone, you guys. There's now max domination in Yugoslavia because I think you needed a helping hand.
Yeah, we're giving you the keys to the nuclear launch codes.
So you guys want to finish the spree?
Well, that's what you guys
want.
Well, next timeline you want it to end, right?
We wanted it to go out with a bang.
That sounds like a good idea.
You guys just need to launch the bombs. It's all on you. We have too much people interest to do this properly.
That's right. You destroy humanity, you evil Westerners.
Capitalist dogs.
Okay.
That's exactly what we expected from you.
Go for an arms race.
Yeah, we've arms raced in. Oh, hearing sound in the background.
Oh, where's the nuclear bombs?
So we did throw you a bone. Let's remove our army command out of there. Let's not make it easy for them.
All right. So,
but it is max influence. That sweet spot for max doomsday. You just need to send a fighter.
So we're gonna retire our army command.
Yeah. What the hell?
Oh,
yeah.
So that's
XTRG and Gellert are the NATO player.
You guys
They're also on this channel right now.
Oh, so you guys are reducing the casualties. I hear. That's great.
I'm not gonna help you.
Like, so Agrippa, we should see what we can spend nuclear wise.
Yeah.
Kind of max out as best as we can.
Let's
in
do
the
what
meantime.
Exactly.
Just go for broke. Spend all your elites. Just get all the military influence.
But no good.
Pretty much, we just want to drop whatever we can, right?
All the bombs. Bombs for days.
All right. So let's. So can we put an intercontinental bomber somewhere, or?
Let's try not to end the game too soon and get like the military thing, but we should use our spies to get a few more military interest. Spain looks nice. We can infiltrate there, or we could do what we usually do, South Antarctica. Just infiltrate there.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna infiltrate Spain.
I would advise not. They probably have like military troops there potentially, but South Antarctica, who goes there?
Let's do.
I think I taught them the fine trick how to get military from elites. It's my favorite thing.
All right, so here we go.
XTRG? What was he saying?
I was saying about the Penguin collectives. They were looking a little bit dodgy.
We've all seen Happy Feet.
Well, you know, it's just sometimes Siberia. Sometimes Siberia is not cold enough. You gotta have another gulag.
Oh, it's not cold enough, so you can add a little bit of the cold war there.
Yeah, exactly.
Agrippa, I didn't know you were such an environmentalist.
Well, of course.
Now you can buy your nuke. Go buy it.
All right, let's go for it, baby.
Well, the world's about to end, so you might as well like nuke up as best as you can.
Our submarine fleets can now deliver nuclear strikes.
Oh, well, now you guys know us, or now I know someone's submarine fleets can deliver nuclear.
Merv.
All right, let's see. I think that's all we can do in terms of nukes.
Yeah, if we made it to the next timeline, we could have Merv. So now we just gotta spend our turn. Let's go. I don't know. Maybe
we could
Greece
still
next?
try.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
let's do. Yeah, let's go to Greece.
Or just move our army command into Iraq. Because why not?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
We want oil, so we can move them twice now. It's controlled.
Let's go. No, we'll move it into Israel. David, did you hear that? We're coming for you, my friend. Move.
Yeah, I'm ready.
He says, yeah, I'm ready.
Right.
Ben Gurion is long gone.
We couldn't. We didn't have enough government to fire off the Molotov plant. Rats. In our final days, we could have given them money.
Yes.
Okay, so for us to declare war then, do I need to obviously have a unit here?
Yeah. I did make it easy, but you're gonna have to do some legwork.
I'm advising against this.
Well, you guys wanted to end this timeline. I gave it to you on a silver platter, making a fireworks show.
One thing we can do is if you go to
We could wait to the very end.
we can check out. No, we shouldn't do that. We should launch it now. But let's check out how many nukes they have. Let's use espionage. So
Yeah, we'll definitely do that when we get the next opportunity to do so.
Spoiler, not many.
Can we go ahead and keep on?
Because I know you guys kept ahead on nuclear technology, so
Yeah,
that
maybe
means you're going to be ahead of us regardless. Because for us to get ahead of you nuclear tech-wise, like nuclear arsenal-wise, means you guys must have screwed up somewhere and fallen behind. And I know you definitely did not. Bellwether for our nation. I know you spent it. You didn't go to space.
Well, what's the point of going to space if you can make the Earth look like the moon?
That is a fair point and a good question.
I say we drop a nuclear submarine for shits and giggles. Right there on the southern edge of Anatolia.
I mean, like, let's just put them all in the Arctic at this point.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Oh, I know what we can do. We could put some in the Aleutian Island. That way our nukes are like right next door to the USA.
Oh, wait a minute. They just attacked us in North Korea.
Yeah, I know.
That was mean. Okay, so here we go.
That was
The Aleutian Islands. Yeah, we're gonna.
We moved our troops. It just goes to our command reserve. They just took our vacation into Siberia instead.
yeah,
Right, there we go.
Well, that's expensive. Maybe not. The Aleutians are yeah.
Too late.
Should we go some espionage?
yes. Let's see how many nukes they have. So
I mean,
this
I
is
could
enough.
just tell you at this point.
Yeah, we
Oh, so you have
just say
13.
No.
close. Close.
14.
That is correct.
There you go.
Yeah, so you see, in fact, if we you can attack, so they can launch. Just bomb Yugoslavia.
Yeah. That's what I like on a silver platter.
We
you
even
might-
took
if I
out we even
dissolve,
took out
shall I use
the
army
military command to make it easier for you guys.
Repeat that.
Should I use the army command or should I use the fighter system?
Either or, just start a war.
You can use the army command. The army command.
There we go.
So the
Yeah,
fighters.
war declaration.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, that's good news. We actually got another point on nuclear arsenal just then.
Yeah, we're gonna get that too. What whole new war?
All right, guys. So you can launch nuclear.
Oh no, we're not doing that.
We're not. Come on, we're not the murderers here.
We are.
You let that.
Well,
It's on you guys. You have
Oh,
the
yeah.
point lead. You have too many people. At least make this close for us.
Well, the thing is, you're not going to worry about having too many people after us.
That's true. But whatever cinder remains we have left.
We'll go for it then. We'll go for it then.
Stick around, guys, afterwards for the expansion to the game, Fallout. It's gonna be coming directly after this.
Fallout Terminal Conflict.
This is the prequel.
We need to do our turn though.
Yeah, you gotta make your turn.
I say,
Subs.
yeah, let's drop either an intercontinental bomber or a sub.
Yeah. Do we have a sub near the Arctic? Like, we can just toss it up there? Actually, we do. The one in the Aleutians. Put it in the Arctic. Let's see if we can get you an achievement.
Let's
see if it can survive the winter.
All right, so here we go. I'm gonna grab that submarine, and
Because one of the achievements is if your sub survives a nuclear winter in the Arctic, like after a nuclear war.
we're referring here to the southern Arctic, yes?
No, I'm just. Yeah, let's go with that.
You can view the Arctic by just clicking.
Oh no, you move
The
you just move the sub into the Arctic region.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
That top area over Russia.
Are you sure that's the Arctic? Yeah, of course.
The Arctic can also be used as a quick travel way, because if you move to the Arctic, you can travel for subs only though, but you can travel from the Arctic to both North America and to Western Europe and Eastern Europe.
So theoretically, we could take our sub from the Aleutians to Greenland.
Yeah.
Well, that's where we actually planned the worldwide revolution, was straight out of Greenland, but things didn't go as planned. It's just something about population, I don't know.
Right, then. Should we go for it? Are you guys ready?
Oh yeah.
End the world. End the world.
Oh, here we go, boys and girls. Apocalypse
Target
commencing.
Favorite music.
Yield selection. Time on target.
Ooh, let's see if we can at least injure them a little bit.
This is my favorite. I always love the sound design for this part. I love the.
That's terrifying. Well, there we go. We didn't need cannon anyway. So it's not going to hit.
Oh, my home! I live there.
Well, that was right in the central United States. That was like Kentucky where we hit where that nuke struck.
Oh, straight to Ontario.
The U.S. lost absolutely nothing. Oh, there we go. Oh, Canada's gone. Yep. Well, at least Eastern Canada.
Washington. Olympus has fallen.
We're just going to form a new nation.
Here we go.
Pan-Pacifica.
Pan-Pacifica.
Oh, there goes Egypt. How many nukes do you still have left in your arsenal?
3.
Oh, so you guys had nukes to spare?
Oh boy.
We used all of it.
That was beautiful.
We held nothing back.
That was beautiful.
And if you lose again, then there's the next game.
I like that. I mean, let's face it. I mean, everybody kind of loses in this one. I don't think there's much of a world to go back to. Unless you want to live in Western
Australia
Canada.
is nice, so, you know.
I mean, Vancouver's still there, so, seems to be an okay place.
And the main thing is, well, to be honest, I was about to say, well, at least England made it, and then England got nipped, and I'm like,
Man.
that would have been quite amusing to have like a neo-British Empire in Europe.
Well, look at it this way. Probably now, because of the nuclear winter, Australia would have turned into wine country.
That's a good point.
Oh, that's
but naturally, anyone listening, kids, nuclear war is terrible. Let's just
not do that.
Let's just not do. Yes.
I suppose in this timeline, well, at least in this timeline, it did make Brexit a little bit easier. I mean,
oh God! Wow! There we go. Now that there we go, we're gonna lose our YouTube channels now.
But
XTRG.
if the guy from England says something, the gates are open.
Jesus.
So you will be for this live stream to the Tories and the Labour Party and.
Oh God, let's not give them our ideas. Honestly, this could be like one of the opportunities they pick. I think Theresa May is just hovering there over the red nuclear button, thinking, I'm going to end it all.
We don't have many nukes, but we have enough.
Besides, you got to consider that guys like Nigel Farage really aren't going to be affected much by a nuclear bomb. I mean, after all, they are already mutants. There's really not much going to happen there.
Take the French out. As long as we can take the French out.
Well, guys, all right, for anybody watching, I'm just going to stop the stream. Thank you so much for stopping by, guys.